And shine Philadelphia. It's time for Mornings with Andrew. Coming to you live from the Fanatic Studios, here's your host, Andrew Salciunas, on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Yeah, let me start the show off with like an early apology. I've been sneezing my freaking head off all day today. It's the allergies. I don't know what it is, man. I didn't do anything crazy yesterday. I didn't go on it. I ran. That's it. I was outside for probably 45 minutes. And I've been sneezing left and right. I'm clogged. I'm just
sneezing and sneezing and sneezing.
I'm leaking oil, dude. Like, I was literally walking into the building today, and it just dripped out of me. Like, I can't freaking stop it, man.
That's a hell of a visual to start out
dude,
with.
No, I'm serious. If the security cameras outside this building could catch it, dude, it was horrible. Like, it looked like I was doing, remember Big Daddy? When the kid was doing the spit and he was able to touch the ground and slurp it back up. Like, that was basically me with snot coming out of my nose.
Sounds like the Phil's bullpen.
Yeah, so I apologize, everybody. All right, so, yeah, speaking of the Phils won yesterday. We're going to do a lot of Eagles talk today because last night when I was lying in bed preparing to go to sleep and not expecting the impending doom of this allergy attack this morning, you know what I heard last night that just kind of got me buzzing?
What's that?
I heard crickets outside, like loud. And that's always the sign it's late summer and fall is right around the corner. And that just got me thinking, like, yo, dude, football's right around the corner and I can't wait. And maybe it's because this Phillies team's driving me freaking insane. I don't really want to watch them anymore. And yet we do every single day because why wouldn't we put ourselves through this torture? But hearing the crickets last night while I was lying in bed, like, got me thinking, all right, football is literally right around the corner. We're a month away. September 13th is the first game of the season for the Eagles. Like, that for the Eagles. There's a game on a Wednesday this year. I was talking to somebody about doing a fantasy football draft, and I was like, oh, my God, you have to do it, like, early because the Wednesday before the Eagles game is the first game of the season. Monday's Labor Day, so a lot of people are probably going to be gone. The Friday before, a lot of people are going to be gone because they might be heading down the shore for one last getaway. But football season's right around the corner, man. I can't wait. But let's start with the Phillies because that game happened yesterday, and they did win. So back-to-back wins for the Philadelphia Phillies. One more, and that's called a winning streak. And, look, got to give Andrew Painter a lot of credit. He came through yesterday in a way where you're thinking things are about to bottom out. I love sports. I love baseball. Because every time you feel like something's just going to go horribly wrong, there's always, like, the random guy that comes through. Like, we've seen Derek Hill do that numerous times this year where you think all is lost. Everything's done for. And I'm not just talking about that game. You're looking at the way the team's playing, and you're going, oh, my God, the way this team's been playing recently, they can't take this loss. They just can't. And then guys like Derek Hill come through. And 3 years ago, it was the daycare, right? It was the Stotts and the Marshes and the Bohms coming up big a couple of years ago. And so last night, you needed a good outing out of Andrew Painter. Now, good outing did not mean having to go 9 innings. Good outing didn't mean having to throw a no-hitter, which he was at one point through 5 innings in that game yesterday. But a good outing was keeping your team in the ball game and not allowing your bullpen to get absolutely shredded. So the plan yesterday was that Andrew Painter and Alan Ronhell were going to piggyback. Piggyback is usually like, hey, get through the order one time. Get me like 3 innings. But when you're dealing, you're dealing. And Andrew Painter was able to step up, pitch 5 1/3 innings. He had to come out of the game because he started giving up some runs and you know, it started falling apart a little bit. And I get it. He's the top prospect, so you want a lot more than that. But for what we have dealt with this year, he is 1-8 this season. When was the last time a fifth starter won a game?
Sometime in May?
Yeah, like we're talking 3 months. So I'll take it any way that I can get it. That was a good outing for Andrew Painter yesterday. Back-to-back decent outings for Andrew Painter, which is a good sign because you just need somebody that's going to eat you some innings but will also keep you in the ball game. I'm not talking about Taijuan Walker eating innings, giving up 7 runs. I'm talking about eating innings and still being in the ball game. So you get your 5 1/3 from Andrew Painter yesterday, and then Alan Ronhell wasn't pretty, but he was able to give you 2 2/3 innings before Jonathan Bolin got the save in the 9th inning. My man, Big John. I love Jonathan Bolin. Phillies win 6-5 yesterday. Big win for them because there's teams around them that are also winning games in the wild card mix. So they needed that win yesterday. Hopefully that this can keep the tide rolling a little bit. Good to see the bats going. But, man, I was thinking about this walking in this morning as there was snot dripping out of my nose. This stretch run is going to be stressful. And I'm talking about the stretch run from now until the playoffs. They have played in 120 games. The Phillies have 42 games left in the regular season. They have a one-game lead in the final spot in the wild card. They are tied with the second team in the wild card. There are teams behind the Padres that are still in the mix. The division, 7.5 games back, I'm not looking at that as some goal for the Philadelphia Phillies. The only goal right now is to freaking make the playoffs before we're talking about whether or not they can beat the Dodgers, right? Like, they got to get to the playoffs first. And they're in a bit of a lull in the schedule where they're playing teams that they can absolutely beat. But then September gets really freaking hard, man. September begins, you're already in the series with the Diamondbacks, who are fighting for a wild card spot. Then you have a four-game series at home against the Atlanta Braves, followed by 3 more home games against the Houston Astros, who are fighting for their division, who they have the greatest player in the planet right now in Yordan Alvarez. Then you go to Atlanta for 3 games. And now you have the stretch run post that. That's just getting you to the middle of September. Then you have Nationals, Mets, Brewers, Rays. Brewers playoff team, Rays playoff team. This is going to be very, very stressful the rest of the way. I have not wavered. I believe they make the playoffs. I think they are just too talented to miss the playoffs. We got into a conversation yesterday about how they are talented enough to make the playoffs, but not a good enough baseball team to win the World Series. But I am not somebody that's going to say, if I don't think that they can win the World Series, then what's the point? No, I want them to get to the playoffs because every given night with Wheeler and Luzardo and Sanchez on the mound, my team has a chance. I've said that 1,000 times. I'm tired of saying it, but you got to repeat yourself in this industry. But it's going to be stressful. So yesterday, let's add to the stress a little bit. The lineup comes out that Bryce Harper was going to DH in the game yesterday. And Bryce Harper, it comes out, has been dealing with knee soreness that has gotten worse since he's been moved to the outfield. Harper has played how many games in the outfield? The trade deadline was, 8 days ago? So they've played maybe 6 games? The guy's played 6 games, and he's already dealing with soreness in his knee from playing in the outfield. And I understand that part of the reason why they moved him to first base was to be able to stretch out his career a little bit more because of the back, because of the arm. Remember, he tore his UCL at one point in the outfield. There was reasons why they moved him to first base. It wasn't because he was being petty. It wasn't because he was being selfish. There were people that would get upset that Bryce Harper wasn't going back to the outfield. Look, the guy's played 6 games in the outfield. He's already dealing with knee issues. But this then sets up a fascinating conversation about what do you do. Bryce Harper DHs yesterday so that they can get him off his feet. Bryce Harper is more valuable than Alec Bohm. All right? I'm not saying anything crazy here. He's more valuable than Alec Bohm. When you acquired Luis Arise, you moved 5 different positions. Arise is now your new second baseman. Bryson Stott moves from second to third. Bryce Harper moves from first to the outfield. Alec Bohm moves from third to first. Now you have guys playing center field and left field that haven't been playing there all year because you're not platooning Bryce Harper in right. But if Bryce Harper can't continue playing right field, I'm sorry, I can't have him be my DH because I don't want Kyle Schwarber playing in the field. Because Kyle Schwarber already has his back issues. And, oh, by the way, Kyle Schwarber's not good at defense. You can throw him out there occasionally. You don't want him out there every single night. So yesterday, Kyle Schwarber plays first base, which meant Alec Bohm was benched again. Second time in 3 games. He was benched Saturday after his hissy fit Friday night when he was the moron that swung first pitch after the pitcher walked 3 straight batters. He swings first pitch, has his tantrum in the dugout. I've been seeing this way too many times in his career. That's why I can't wait for him to leave. He gets benched Saturday. He's back out there Sunday and has a horrible game. Horrible game at first base. So Did he get benched because Bryce Harper's knees bothering him and they needed to put Kyle Schwarber in the lineup too? Or is it, hey, this guy can't play first base either? Now, does that mean Alec Bohm is done? Because if Harper has to go back to first base, are you shuffling all the chairs again? Is now Bryson Stott going to the outfield like it was first reported when the Arise trade happened? Is the Trey Turner move to the outfield going to happen, which has been talked about? I don't know. But we are 8 days removed from the trade deadline where we all kind of complained about the defensive alignment post-trade, and you're already wondering, can Bryce Harper continue to play in the outfield? So that's one thing that's stressing me out this morning after the Phillies finally got a win from their fifth starter. Relying on Andrew Painter and Alan Ronhell is stressful, but they got the job done yesterday. And the bullpen, as we've been talking about for months, and it's why I wanted their big acquisition to be a bullpen arm, because there's nobody I can really trust other than Joan Duran and Jonathan Bolin. And again, we'll see what Bolin is come playoff time. Take a listen to Don Mattingly yesterday. It has been so bad for the Phillies recently. Not just the poor pitching from the bullpen, but the usage of the bullpen. Right? Andrew Painter, his last start, has to leave a little bit early because of the injury. You have a couple of extra inning games this past series with the Toronto Blue Jays, which is why they had to pitch a lot of guys in the bullpen. There have been some early outings for some of the starting pitchers. So yesterday, after the Phillies won, Andrew Painter, 5 1/3, Alan Ronhell, 2 2/3. That ate up 8 innings. Jonathan Bolin got the save in the 9th, but it was a 1-run ball game. What if the Cardinals tied it and they went to extra innings? Here's Don Mattingly talking about the state of the bullpen and what they would have had to have done yesterday.
Is that the first game you've ever managed without a bullpen?
It was one of the easiest games I've ever managed, actually, because you know you're not doing anything. And it's obviously, Payne was great tonight. Obviously, Payne was really good. That was huge from him. And I thought, Ronhell, gutsy, getting out of that. And we had one bullet out there, and that was it. That we were willing to use. I mean, you can use guys, but you hurt guys. So we're not in that spot. But so that's a huge win for us, knowing where we were at with the pen and all the guys out there. To get that from Paint and Allen, huge tonight.
You probably don't really want to think about it, but did you have a plan for extras if you went extras?
Stubby, not a good plan, but a plan.
Garrett Stubbs.
Oh, man.
Garrett Stubbs would have been the pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies in the top of the 10th. Or bottom of the 10th, because they were in St. Louis. Not bottom of the 15th, where you go, all right, sucks. It is what it is. But bottom of the 10th inning, if they went to extra innings. Their starting pitchers, by the way, are like taxed too, because they have to throw so many innings that you're not going to have, at this stage of the season, Sanchez throw extra innings. You're not going to have Wheeler throw extra innings. You're not going to throw Luzardo extra innings. There was a chance that if Jonathan Bolin, who has been such a big addition to this Phillies team, tip of the cap to Dave Dombrowski. Thank you for getting rid of Matt Strom, who I hated. There was a chance that the Phillies would have gone to Garrett Stubbs in the bottom of the 10th inning. That is the state of the bullpen right now for the Phillies. So when I tell you it is going to be stressful from now until the time they start the playoffs, if they do indeed make the playoffs, which I still believe they will, it's not just because of the schedule and the opponents that they have coming up. It's because of the state of this team. Your former MVP is already dealing with knee soreness after 6 games in the outfield. The guy that you kept in the lineup and moved from third base to first base is having another breakdown. The guy that you kept at shortstop still can't play the position. And now I got Kyle Schwarber playing in the field twice in the span of what, 3 games, 4 games?
Yeah.
That wasn't a part of the plans. You're still doing piggybacks of Painter and Ronhell. And now our bullpen is so beat up, it's so overworked, that there was a chance that the bottom of the 10th inning, where the home team starts with the runner on second base, would have had Garrett Stubbs on the mound pitching to him. So, Connor, here's my question. Today's another state of the city discussion. I like this kind of stuff. It's not about me, just because my name's on the show. It's about us. It's about this city. It's why I always want community. It's why a couple weeks ago I told you, hey, when this new morning show starts, we want community. All right? Will you allow yourself to get stressed out by it? I'm stressed out by it because I keep on saying they're going to make the playoffs, so that's probably why, right? Like, there's a lot of warning signs, a ton of them. Like, my Honda Civic, when I have the check maintenance light pop up every morning I start my car, when I hit the button, there's like 4 things that pop up. And yet I'm still holding on to hope that this car is going to last me a couple more years.
Yeah, good luck.
I woke up this morning. There was 160,501 miles on that car, and there's 4 different things popping up on the check maintenance. All right.
Sounds like the Phillies.
All right. Exactly. I got here this morning, like I have the previous mornings. I still believe the Phillies make the playoffs, but man, there are enough warning signs that if my car doesn't get here one day, if I'm calling you later this week or next week when it's the start of the new lineup with Mornings with Marks and Salciunas, and I'm calling Johnny Marks at 5:30, I shouldn't be surprised if I don't get here because my car has all these warning signs. If the Phillies don't make the playoffs, I should not be surprised that on August 10th, there was a chance that Garrett Stubbs was going to be pitching the bottom of the 10th inning. I am going to be stressed out by everything. But there are a lot of people throughout the entire season that have had the approach of wake me up when October comes. The problem is there may not be a time to wake you up. You might be Ted Williams. Like, there might be a chance where your head is on ice because we might not wake you up.
We're not decapitating people around here, are we?
I don't know. They're looking for a cure still. Like, all I'm saying is...
Maybe don't cut the guy's head off.
All I'm saying is there is a chance where we're not waking you up.
Yeah.
So you were the first person on this station that said there's a chance they don't make the playoffs. And I still believe that they make the playoffs. Will it stress you out, this stretch run? Or are you kind of like, this could happen, so I'm not going to allow it to stress me out? And by the way, I know how the city's been ticking recently. There's a lot of people that are probably going to predict that they don't make the playoffs. And it's, I'm going to lead with the negative so that if I'm surprised, I'm happy. But I wonder, are you guys out there at 610-632-0975 going to allow the Phillies over the next 42 games with all the check engine lights going on right now? Are you going to allow them to stress you out? What do you got, Connor?
No, I'm not, because I know where this team is. You ever ridden a bull before?
No.
You ever ride the one down at Stateside Live?
No.
Really? I would have seen you as a guy.
Not my thing.
Been on there once or twice. Not my proudest moments.
It's not my thing.
That's going to be the Phillies rest of the season, man. You're just going to have to get on there and hold on for dear life. But if you expect what you're walking into, like, I know it's going to be stressful. Last night, I knew the Ron Hell thing. They scored to go their 6th run, the Phillies scored, to put them up 3. Like, that
still isn't enough.
That might be what they need. Like, this is the only time I felt really comfortable about this game. Even Painter throwing no-hit 5 innings. I'm like, okay, that's what we need. You're going to have solid starts from 3 of your 5 guys.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to hold on for 2 innings and see how much you give up, because you're going to give up runs. And then you got to get to the 9th holding 1 and hope that the run is perfect.
Yeah.
That's the only way. But if you're accepting that that's the strategy the rest of the way, it's not ideal. I'm not going to stress about it because I know, what am I going to go in and believe that the bullpen's all of a sudden going to be good?
No, but like now, were you banking on Bryce Harper's knee being sore 6 games after the trade deadline? I wasn't.
But even if it's not, he plays right field and Alec Boehm can't play, and he's playing every day at first base.
So now he's playing first base, and now are we figuring out a way to keep Boehm in the lineup and we're moving positions again? Or is Boehm just done?
I would sit him.
I mean, I would too. I mean, I don't think you have to ask me for my answer, but like, I don't know. Like, what? By the way, I'm going to say something. All right, I would send him down if he's unplayable, because do you think he, who has been benched by his teammates before for his attitude, you think he's going to have a great attitude sitting on the pine during a stretch run of the playoffs?
Don't imagine so.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I almost would want him out of the building if that's the case.
Plus,
You can't do that, though, because you need some bit of a professional right-handed bat on the bench.
well, hey, Derek Hill. What do you say, baby?
That's right.
But also, you could get an extra arm up and maybe have a 9-man bullpen instead of an 8, which clearly you need because Garrett Stubbs is almost throwing in games. What are we doing?
Garrett Stubbs was going to pitch yesterday if there was a bottom of the 10th inning, and that's why I'm wondering, will you allow this Phillies team to stress you out over the next 42 games? I might turn gray. I'm starting to already, but I might turn gray over the next 42 games. I'm going to allow them to stress me out, even though I probably shouldn't. 610-632-0975. Will you allow this Phillies team to stress you out? Jay Plank chimes in on Twitter. Screw it. Just clear the codes that the check engine light will go off for a few days. You want to know something, Jay Plank? I got my oil changed on Sunday. You don't think I tried doing that? My car literally said, cannot reset data. It didn't let me do it.
Yeah, probably because Y2K knocked it out when it was built.
Yeah, exactly. All right, coming up next, speaking of urgency and speaking of stress and speaking of whether or not you will allow teams to stress you out, I want to get the vibe of the city for the Eagles going into the season. I had this thought this morning. We had major career news over the weekend about Lane Johnson. Connor sent me an email about it, and I want to read it to you guys coming up next. We have talked a lot about the future of Jalen Hurts, about whether or not he gets the big payday after this season ends. How much urgency is there for us to see success this year? And by success, I mean winning playoff games. I'll explain more coming up next because you start looking around and you're going, it'll be really different here soon. It's Mornings with Andrew here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Phils hang on in St. Louis. I'm Connor Thomas. The Phillies hung on to beat the Cardinals 6-5 last night after another shaky performance from the bullpen. Now, they were real thin last night. Caleb Killian going on the injured list, so they had 3 usable pitchers in that one. Helps that Andrew Painter threw 5 no-hit innings, allowing 2 hits and 2 earned in the 6th. Alan Rodhell took it from there, allowing 3 in the 8th to make things interesting. But Jonathan Bolin closed the door in the 9th for his first career save. Don Mattingly talked about the thin bullpen stepping up after the game.
It was one of the easiest games I've ever managed, actually, because you know you're not doing anything. But knowing where we were at with the pen and all the guys out there, to get that from Paint and Allen, huge tonight.
Kyle Schwarber was on base 4 times to help set up the offense, and Mundo Sosa had a 3 RBI night. Game 2 in St. Louis is tonight at 7:45. Christopher Sanchez faces Andre Palante. The Eagles' first preseason game is this Saturday as camp continues to ramp up. Vic Fangio will meet with the media this morning at 9:40 to talk about the defense. And the full NBA schedule will be released Thursday afternoon with some marquee games being announced beforehand, maybe even as early as this morning. We'll keep you updated. Scott Lauber of The Inquirer joins us at 7:30 to talk Phils. Amy Fadul from the 8 o'clock hour until the end of the show. This update's brought to you by Verizon Business. Verizon Business experts love small businesses, so they come directly to you on your schedule. With real expertise tailored to your needs, make an appointment with a Verizon Business expert. Go to Verizon.com/book today. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
This is 97.5 The Fanatic, the radio home for Philadelphia Flyers hockey.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm.
the ability of AI, not Allen Iverson, AI.
We're talking about practice.
AI videos and everything. They're getting insane, dude. Like, I mean, insane. I just watched a video from a Twitter account. It popped in my timeline. No Chill Hoops. All right, I don't even know how that popped. It doesn't even have 1,000 followers. It's not like some big account. It just pops up my For You tab, right? And it's a Sixers-related video. So that's probably why it's on my For You tab. It is a video of LeBron James practicing at the Sixers facility and beating somebody off the dribble, going baseline, and dunking it. I watched the video, and I said, all right, something doesn't feel right. Number one, I think we would have heard that LeBron James was practicing with the Sixers. Like, I feel like that would have been a story already because the Sixers are doing their media tour right now. There was a new interview, Mike Gansey with Kevin Negandhi at Angelo's, right? Like, there's a lot going on with the Sixers, so I think we would know LeBron's in town for practice, and every report in the world will be there. It's also, as a trained eye of basketball, as a ball knower, when he went up for the dunk, I could just tell that the flight of the ball didn't make sense, like from hand to net. But this is somebody that loves basketball. I bet you thousands of people would think this was real. I'll send it to you. Like, it looks real. It's just because I love basketball so much, I have an understanding that, all right, something's off in this video here. But I can only imagine the person that, like, is a casual basketball fan would probably watch this video and go, huh, wow, LeBron's at practice. I just sent it to you. Click on go to your DMs.
All right, I'll check it out. How many years away do you think you are from getting got by the AI videos?
I almost got. Like, if
I
this,
feel like it's coming for you.
I'll be honest, like soccer, like it's not my sport. So I would not be surprised if I see a soccer video soon and I completely fall for it. Because the video that I just sent you, I also didn't know who was guarding him. And I was like, all right, that doesn't make sense that unless that's like just some guy that's on a two-way contract.
Also, there's dudes with like their phones out on the baseline at Sixers practice.
Well, they're but it's LeBron's people, right? Like, that's what they're making it out to be. Like, LeBron's people are at camp and everything. If you watch the video, it looks real.
He looks like he's scoring on a Shake Milton James Harden hybrid.
Yes.
This is hilarious.
But it looks like that would get somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
That video gets somebody. It's nuts. All right, if you're just tuning in, Phillies win yesterday. Another stressful win, but there's much more stressful storylines with it. Bryce Harper already dealing with knee soreness from playing in the outfield. He had a DH yesterday. We might see him at first base today for all we know. They won yesterday. Lineup looked pretty good with Alec Boehm out of it. Right? Oh, man, you need that guy in the order. No, you don't. They scored 6 runs yesterday. He stinks. There might be a chance that Alec Boehm is on the bench again today. That Bryce Harper's at first base. That you have, Derek Hill in right field or Brian De La Cruz. Somebody's out in right field. Bryson Stott's still at third. There's a chance. But that's another added stress level. I got Painter, Ronhell, piggybacks. I got Garrett Stubbs was supposed to pitch the bottom of the 10th inning if it went that far. Will you allow the Phillies to stress you out over the next 42 games? 610-632-0975. Now, speaking of urgency and stress. So, Connor, you emailed me after the Lane Johnson news comes out that, this is most likely his last season. And you felt the need that they need to, get going, quick, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it got me thinking. I think the majority of the city just expects this season to go well, right? I think
it's going to.
And I think they win the division. I think it's going to be more difficult this year. I think the Cowboys will be in it till the very end. I don't think this is going to – last year I thought that the last 3 weeks would be stress-free. We were pretty much there except for their own individual stresses, but not the stresses of the division. This year I think it's coming down to the wire. I think the Cowboys will make it really difficult for the Eagles to win this division. But I expect it to be a good season. But if it's not perfect, then what? If you think about it, there is a legitimate storyline about this Jalen Hurts contract thing. Lane Johnson could be done at the end of this year. You're already paying a lot of money to Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, and you're about to have two more big paydays in Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. There's going to be cap casualties. I don't know about Saquon Barkley. Zach Berman said it to us yesterday. He goes, there's a world that Saquon Barkley's not back here next year. Zach Bond, is he a cap casualty? If Jahad Campbell continues to shine at camp like everybody's saying he is, wasn't that long ago the Eagles were very cheap at that position. Do we have a sense of urgency like the Eagles need to get the job done this year? Now, I'm not saying Super Bowl or bust, all right, because it's hard to win the freaking Super Bowl. But a year like last year would only speed up the process of making a lot of changes. They need to really capitalize on this potential final year of Lane Johnson, on this final year of this current deal for Jalen Hurts until it's renegotiated or he's gone, on a lot of the rookie contracts that you have on defense still for one more year. I know what people are going to say. I'm always urgent about the Eagles. They always need a win. But I'm talking about for the future. This almost feels like not Phillies level of it has to happen this year. But you start looking around the Eagles, and there's a lot of questions about the future of the team with big-name players. Does the city have that sense of urgency yet, or are we just not there?
We're not there yet because I think we're still looking at how this develops. Like, I don't think people have gotten to that point of the thought process. We're in training camp. Like, I imagine there are some people that are just like, I can't wait to see them take on the Ravens Saturday in preseason because I just want to see the helmets and pads on against another team.
Right.
As we get into the season, I think a lot of people will think this way. Because 24, they didn't have to win. I'm glad they did, but you didn't have to. You had a young defense. You had guys on long-term contracts that were in the prime of their career on offense. You had time.
Yeah.
Last year, they didn't really have to win because you knew you had a lot of guys that would come back. Now, I'm not happy with how last year happened, but it wasn't like, if this doesn't work, this team is screwed. We can hit a point like a month or two into the season where you're like, okay, the offensive line doesn't look all that great. You got some more health issues for guys that will be here.
Yeah, look, I know Landon Dickerson said the other day that he has not been contemplating retirement, which,
Sure, buddy.
I don't believe you. And I saw somebody, I think it was Dumas, like, who was the one that reported this? Like 5 people, dude. Like multiple people reported it because when there's smoke, there's fire. Do I believe part of those reports were Landon Dickerson a month after the season ended and his body feels broken? Yeah. And maybe he's feeling really good right now, which is why he said what he said right now. 4 weeks into the season, if he's dealing with a nagging injury, because that's what his career's unfortunately been about, regular NFL and college, and even I think his senior year of high school, he had a season-ending injury. We were a couple months removed from him contemplating retirement through sources. And I feel pretty good about one guy that was talking about it because of, knowing people. Yeah, like all of a sudden you start looking at this Eagles roster and you're wondering, what does 2027 hold? What does 2028 hold? Now, I know that a lot of people, and this is a very fine answer, is I'll worry about that when I get there. And you can have that take. You can have that spin. You can say, hey, I'm going to take this season a week at a time. All right, great. So will the Eagles with information because they're going to be making some major decisions after this year. Coming up later on in the show, I have 5 could-be storylines in 2027, the offseason. Like, could be. I'm not saying these are what's going to happen, but there is a world where we're having these conversations. And those conversations will be really, really interesting. And I'm not just saying it because of sports talk radio. I'm saying that, like, with my buddies or with my dad, like, what do they do here? What do they do there? The Eagles are going to be a really interesting conversation after this season ends. But are you even thinking about that? Is there a sense of urgency for the Philadelphia Eagles, for you, that they really have to make noise this year? Or are you not even worrying about down the road? Today is one of those days where I get an idea of who you are as a fan. And every fan fans the way they want to fan, and I love it. You are a live and die every day. You believe that every Phillies game's an Eagles game? Go for it. I think you're going to drive yourself crazy. That's not how I want to live my life. But go for it. If that's the way you fan, that's the way you fan. There are people that are going to say, all I care about is week one and whether or not they win. Whereas people like me, it's my vacation analogy. I always book a vacation almost the last day of my vacation. I start thinking about the next one because I love vacation. I can't help but think about potential conversations with the Eagles less than a year from now. 610-632-0975. That's the number to climb in either the text line, voice memos. I like hearing your voices. And, of course, the call-in line. I love hearing your voices. What do we got on the Davis Honda text line? You can feel the Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington.
Yeah, great call from our first texter here. I didn't even think of this. Almost an expert move that you got away with. He says, sounds like Andrew is setting himself up for a call-out for the Field of Dreams game with this sniffles thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you think my allergies in Iowa wouldn't bother me? I feel like all those cornfields, that might get to me. By the way, an update on this. I think there is a rich person listening to this show because both of those tickets that I talked about yesterday are gone. The one that was $5 and the one that was $6, they're both gone. I checked yesterday at like 5 o'clock at night. Now, there are a couple of tickets because we're getting closer to the day that are starting to drop. But I said to you yesterday, Connor, that if one of these goes below $500 and we're in the $400 range, I was really, really ready to buy it. Like, I talked to Christy about it after work. We had a full conversation about it. I was ready to jump. The problem is, I know how this works. As a guy who monitors the ticket situation here in Philadelphia, it usually happens the morning of the game. Oh, I can't make it today. I'm going to sell my ticket, and I'm just going to try to get as much back as I possibly can. I can't just kind of jump on a plane to Iowa Thursday morning.
Why not? Buy some flight insurance, book the flight, cancel it if the tickets don't become available.
Yeah, I think the flight happens at 6:30 in the morning.
Wake up early.
No. What I'm saying is if I'm making a last-second decision, it would have to happen like Wednesday night or when I first wake up Thursday, when my alarm goes off at 4 for this job, I would have to literally check right away, is there a ticket below $500, and can I still get on that 6:30 a.m. flight? My chances are dwindling, man.
All this to watch Aaron Nola.
My chances are dwindling. I'm really upset that it might not happen. I really want to go. I'm like being a kid in the candy store here. I really want to go. All right, we'll continue to check the text line, 610-632-0975. I need to get a sense of the city with this one. The Phillies, will you allow them to stress you out the next 42 games? Or are you at the point of whatever happens, happens? Eagles, do you believe there is a sense of urgency? For you, is there a sense of urgency? Or will you not care until we get to those points? Also, we update you on our final segment of the show yesterday where we asked, come Friday, following the Field of Dreams game, will the Phillies still be one of the 3 wild card teams? We'll update you on what else happened in Major League Baseball yesterday with the teams that are right around it there with the Phillies. That comes your way next. Mornings with Andrew, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Monday, August You've heard of the Heart Foundation. You've heard of D-Generation X. You've heard of the Road Warriors, but have you heard of the Seamheads? Andrew Salciunas, a.k.a. the host, and Connor Thomas, a.k.a. producer, are back to bring you more hard-hitting Philly sports talk on Mornings with Andrew, right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, it is 6:48 here on Mornings with Andrew. Coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. A lot of stuff to get to. Scott Lauber will be joining us at 7:30. How will the Phillies do with this bullpen, man? And is Alec Boehm, if Bryce Harper can't play the outfield, again, if you missed it, Bryce Harper knee soreness yesterday since going to the outfield. If Bryce Harper can't stay in the outfield because he's more valuable than Alec Boehm, he will go back to first base. And if he goes back to first base, then what do you do with Alec Boehm? You move him back to third? And then you move Stott to the outfield like there was a chance of that happening when they first traded for a rise? Or is Boehm on the bench? Because it's not like he's hitting 300. Like I was listening to Middays with Marks yesterday on my way home. It's not like Alec Boehm's bat must be in the lineup, and you deal with the poor defense at first base. Guy can't hit either. So now what do you do? To me, the answer is easy, but I'm not in that locker room. All right, what do we have on the text line? And then we'll update you on what's going on around Major League Baseball. We'll also get the Twitter poll. And also in the 7 o'clock hour, we got to talk about this potential fraud scheme that took place in football. Did you see this?
No, I didn't.
You did not see this?
No, man.
Oh, it involves the Philadelphia Eagles. Some players got schemed, man.
I'm excited to hear about this. What, the AI LeBron video?
Nope. But speaking of LeBron, guy works for Clutch. Uh-oh. What do we have on the Davis Honda text line? Phil Davis Sivers, check him out in Burlington.
All right, this texter checks in and says, if you're panicking now about the Phillies with dead arms, why do you have confidence in the three starters? When the postseason comes around, those guys will have nothing left.
Have they shown that they have nothing left?
I mean, there have been some sketchy starts by like
Sanchez had a
Wheeler,
couple.
Sanchez. Luzardo's been pretty darn consistent.
Yeah. I mean, those guys' arms are stretched out. Like they pitch once a week. They pitch 6 or 7 innings. I get it, but they're the least of my worries. They're the least of my worries. My worry is what if one of those guys, to your point, I guess, like, isn't great come playoff time. You're screwed because that's the only way you're going to win is by those three guys pitching really well through like 6 innings. But I'm not under the impression that in a month from now they're going to be cooked. Those three. I'm not under that impression. This isn't CC Sabathia when the Brewers traded for him and he pitched every 3 days. Like, they're still going to pitch their scheduled starts. Like, it's not like they're, hey, we need to start winning ball games. We're going to start skipping Andrew Painter starts, and you're going to be pitching on short rest. They're not doing that. So, like, I'm not really worried.
All right. Yeah, there is a thought in my head about if this bullpen's thin, how does it affect the rotation? But the good thing for the rotation is Painter and Nola have started to give you at least something.
Yeah. Yeah, they've given you innings. By the way, the May 18th was the last time they won a game with the 5th starter on the mound. May 18th. So that's almost 3 full months. Here's your starting lineup that day for the Phillies. They beat the Cincinnati Reds 5-4. Trey Turner leadoff, Harper 2-hole, Boehm 3-spot.
Lovely.
Sosa was your cleanup hitter that day. Adalis Garcia, Bryson Stott, JT, Justin Crawford, Otto Kemp. Oh, yeah. Those were the days, man. Those were the days. Championship-type player, Otto Kemp, starting lineup.
See, what does Otto Kemp have to do with anything?
He stinks. Adalis Garcia, he was supposed to hit 30 home runs.
He would have if he was healthy.
Yeah, sure. All right.
He was just about to get hot.
What's the poll of the day looking like? Brought to us by Dr. Avidan Appel and the team at Iron Mountain Men's Health. The poll is strong for 4 hours every single morning. Thanks to Dr. Avidan Appel. And with this Phillies team right now, we might need some extra help. What we got?
Will you allow the Phillies to stress you out the rest of the season? This is going to be really interesting because it's a tight one early. 46% are saying no. 54% are saying yes.
No, I'm not surprised. Because if this was 2022, right, when people hated this team and they backed into the playoffs, people were angry. I don't know where we're at these days. I mean, it's been 3 years of playoff disappointment, the collapse against the Diamondbacks, the not showing up against the Mets, and then not being able to play fundamentally sound baseball against the best team in baseball, and that's why he lost to the Dodgers. And this year's been filled with annoying storylines, right? Dave Dombrowski's annoying. Bryce Harper's been annoying this year. Alec Bohm always annoys me. I'm annoyed every time I see JT Realmuto's face because I know that he got a 3-year contract extension. This season's been annoying all year. And so there are probably people that are like, you know what, man? Eagles season is a month away. A month away. 33 days from now, the Eagles start. And I got LeBron James in town, and I'm excited about the Flyers. The Phillies can't hurt me anymore. They'll hurt me. If they miss the playoffs, I'll be really hurt by it because I still think that they will make the playoffs. And that's probably what. Look, honestly, if we asked a secondary poll, do you believe the Phillies will make the playoffs? I wonder how similar those results are to the current poll. Because the people that might think they're not going to make the playoffs won't be stressed out by it. The people that think they'll make the playoffs will be stressed out by it. Right?
I think they're going to make the playoffs, but I'm not going to be stressed out because I know that them missing it is a distinct possibility.
Okay.
I've already mentally prepared myself for that conversation.
Okay.
That's very, very real. They have 3 usable starters, 2.5 usable bullpen arms, if that, and 3/4 of a lineup on a good day?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, they could miss the playoffs.
That's awesome.
And you should have prepared for this weeks ago.
Nah, they're going to make the playoffs lock. All right, other things around Major League Baseball yesterday. The Padres beat the Brewers. So yesterday at the end of the show, we were talking about the rest of Major League Baseball. Right now, as it stands in the wild card, the top wild card team is the Chicago Cubs. The Phillies and Diamondbacks tied for that second spot. They're both 5.5 games back of the Cubs. The Padres' first team out. They're 1 game back because they won yesterday, beating the Brewers. Come on, man. We need a little bit of help from that Milwaukee squad. Beating the Brewers, so they remain 1 game back of the Phillies. The Diamondbacks, a rout of Colorado. They won 9-0, so the Phillies still tied with them. So no help yesterday from any of these teams. The only help you got, if you're still looking at it, is the Mets beat the Braves yesterday 8-5. So now the lead is cut to 7.5 games. But again, I'm not holding my breath there. Everybody else was out of action. Marlins didn't play yesterday. Cubbies didn't play yesterday. And you beat the Cardinals, which is a big win because the Cardinals, as of yesterday, were 3.5 games back of you. You're now 4.5 games up because you beat them. So those are the teams that are still in the mix. The Nationals are 5 games back. They've won 3 straight. I'm not really worried about them. They didn't play yesterday. I think when the Phillies play the Nationals in the month of September, they're going to handle their business against them like they usually do. But those teams right now, Diamondbacks, they've won 2 straight, 6-4 in their last 10. Padres, they've won 3 straight, 7-3 in their last 10. Just like the Phillies, 2 straight, 7-3 in their last 10. Nobody's really falling out of this race. It's going to go on till the end of the season. Will you allow it to stress you out? 610-632-0975. Coming up next, we'll reset everything. Urgency for the Phillies. The urgency for the Eagles discussion. Do you feel it? I also have to ask a question with very little data. Very little. And it's something that I'll bring up to Scott Lauber when he joins us at 7:30 about whether or not the Phillies will pull the trigger on something this September. I'll explain more coming up next, and the wild story that involves players of the Philadelphia Eagles next here on The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A win with a thin pen. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies hung on to beat the Cardinals 6-5 last night after another shaky performance from the bullpen, but this one was more who they had available. Andrew Painter threw 5 no-hit innings, allowing 2 hits and 2 earned in the 6th inning, so he got you deep enough into the game. Then Alan Rangel, he just hung on for dear life. He allowed 3 in the 8th to make things interesting, but Jonathan Bolin closed the door in the 9th for his first career save. He talked about what it meant to get that first one after the game.
I actually haven't had time to think about it, but family being here, it's very special. Family means the world to me, but personal accolades, that's cool. I mean, that's awesome. Let's see. I'll keep going and see where this thing goes.
Well, Phillies fans are thinking the same way with that bullpen, trying to figure out where things go there. But the offense was good last night, too. Kyle Schwarber was on base 4 times to help set them up, and Mundo Sosa had a 3 RBI night. Game 2 is at 7:45 this evening. Christopher Sanchez takes them out against Andre Palante. The Eagles' first preseason game is this Saturday against the Ravens as camp continues to ramp up. Vic Fangio will meet with media at 9:40 this morning, and the full NBA schedule is going to be released Thursday afternoon, with some marquee games being announced as early as this morning. We'll keep you updated on that. Scott Lauber of The Inquirer joins us coming up at 7:30 to talk to us about what in the world the Phils can do with this pen. Amy Fadul will join us from the 8 o'clock hour to the end of the show. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
You're waking up with Mornings with Andrew on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Hello, we're here. Mornings with Andrew for a couple more days. Marks and Salciunas starts August 17th, next Monday, 6 a.m. Looking forward to it. Had a little meeting with Johnny Marks yesterday, just figuring out some things for the start of the show. So can't wait. That starts your way next Monday, 6 o'clock, and then middays will be Sean Brace, Ray Dunn, Connor Thomas producing that program, and Unfiltered remains the same. The only difference with Unfiltered is now Ricky Bose singing the "So Easy You Could Do It in Your Underwear" commercial, which I respect.
That's a big change.
It's a big change, and he's great at it, and I love Ricky Bose for it. All right, before I reset the topics to let you guys know what we're chiming in on, and then I have to ask a question about the Phillies bullpen strategy that I will then ask again of Scott Lauber, who will be joining us coming up at 7:30. A situation that we will be monitoring. It's not going to impact the Eagles' season. Let me make that clear. Surprised you didn't see this. Jalen Carter, Nakobe Dean, former Eagle, and Terrell Edmonds, who was a safety for the Eagles, right? A couple of years ago, something like that. They were apparently fell victim to a scheme. An e-commerce investment scheme. This guy by the name of Mohammed Koulibaly was running it. But the problem is Former Cardinals GM Steve Keim was a part of this. So a general manager, formerly in the NFL, was linked to this. As of today, it still says he's a member of the Clutch Sports Group on Wikipedia, which is a very trustworthy source. During the break, I read more of the article. People reached out to Clutch Sports for comment, but a source said Keim is no longer employed at the agency. So did that recently happen? Did that happen a while ago and Wikipedia just hasn't been updated? It's not like this is a GM of an NFL team getting fired and the whole world finds out about it. It's somebody that works for an agency, and we don't have to be told that the guy's not there anymore. It's not Rich Paul. It's Steve Keim. So here's the crazy story. Steve Keim, former GM of the Arizona Cardinals, it was Shopify stores, right? Just like buy this stuff, and it's an investment scam.
Are these the people who got D-Gun?
Maybe. We don't know.
Don't you dare.
Or Ricky Bo. Remember, Ricky Bo fell victim to it, too.
They're attacking Philadelphia right now.
So Steve Keim being associated with it gave players comfort that they could invest in this. They said in the article that I read, it happens all the time where there's these investment schemes and players know better not to associate with themselves with it or to actually invest in it. But because Keim was a part of it, they're like, oh, wait, a GM in the NFL as recently as 2 years ago was a part of this. This was happening while he was still GM, by the way. Like, it's not like he was a GM 15 years ago and now he's doing something. Like, he was just there in Arizona a couple of seasons ago. And so these players felt comfortable because he's a part of it. And he, according to multiple reports, was on, like, the board where they pitched things. So it's not like he was just like, yeah, sure, slap my name on the product, I'll give you some money. Like, no, he was a part of the calls to some of these players. DeAndre Hopkins chimed in on social media yesterday. D-Hop, not with the Eagles. DeAndre Hopkins claims that back in 2023, where he failed a PED test, quote, I got set up when I played for his team and lost $13 million. The guy's name is Steve Keim. He called him Scheme Slime was my GM. Contaminated my drug test. Go figure how that happened. He then later on deleted the post because he deleted the post.
Scheme Slime's a great nickname.
He called him
cooked with that.
Slime. But unfortunately, there is a current and some former members of the Eagles that got duped by this, man. Here's the wild part. Kalabali, who was the guy that was running this, reportedly found dead.
Jesus Christ.
That took a turn, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So will be a story that we'll monitor. What the hell happened? Because I'm just going to assume that guy didn't just, run into some bad luck. I'm going to assume he messed with the wrong person, and I'm not saying anything about the Eagles.
No. But like, if you got
clear
Eagles level, like Eagles players level people, there were other
that
people
are investing
involved in this.
Yeah, and by the way, Jalen Carter was still on his rookie deal. So like, think about the guys that are making a lot more money, and I'm not even talking about football. I'm talking about the levels. The what's that? The new movie, The Dark Rooms or the Back Rooms?
The back rooms.
There's things that we don't know that goes on in this world. I think we all have ideas when guys just wind up dead. I think the guy was like 24 years old.
You want to start a true crime podcast?
Yeah, oh yeah, I could be good at that kind of stuff. What if I told you? That's 30 for 30. So yeah, we'll monitor
Very
this.
different.
We'll monitor the situation, man.
Okay. That's wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. All right, here's what we've been talking about. Are you going to allow the Phillies to stress you out? They're stressing me out. They have 42 games left in the regular season. 42. They are tied for the second and third wild card spot. They are one game up with the San Diego Padres. They are 3.5 games up with the Marlins. 4.5 games up with the Cardinals, who you're playing right now. There are a lot of teams in the mix. The Phillies are not playing good enough baseball for you to say, feet up, they'll make the playoffs. I think that they will make the playoffs, but I can't tell you, feet up, this thing's over with. You might as well just end it. You might as well just pencil them in. You can't do that. Yesterday, Bryce Harper was the DH because of knee soreness. Kyle Schwarber had to play first base. It's been so bad with Bohm that they put Schwarber at first base. Now, obviously, you don't want his bat in the lineup anyway. It's bad right now. Garrett Stubbs, if you missed it yesterday, was due to pitch the bottom of the 10th inning if Jonathan Bolin allowed the Cardinals to tie it in the bottom of the 9th inning. Jonathan Bolin had to get his first career save because Johan Duran wasn't available. The bullpen is that taxed. We had to beg for 8 innings out of Andrew Painter and Alan Ronhell. We got it. Thank you. Are you going to allow the Phillies to stress you out? And the Eagles, with all these potential storylines of Jalen Hurts' contract, Lane Johnson's retirement, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean getting paid, maybe cap casualties, Saquon Barkley, Zach Bond, do you have a sense of urgency that they have to start winning big now? 610-632-0975, or are you somebody that says, I'll get there when we get there, I'm not going to worry about that in August? What do we have on the text line before we get into this Phillies bullpen conversation?
Seth in Philly checks in, says, you sound like a traumatized Philadelphia sports fan. The Phillies should make the playoffs, and the Eagles have Howie. I'm the fan who just enjoys the ride. Tomorrow will worry about itself.
Yeah, I trust Howie too. I do. It's just, think about it for a second. There is I was going to say this for later, but there is a world. You know how people always think that there's multiple timelines, like of your own personal life? Like in a different world, I'm doing this currently. In a different world, like if this happened, right?
Yeah, the multiverse theory.
Yeah. There is one of the multiverses is Jalen Hurts is okay this year. Or they're bad. And for the third straight year, the passing offense is toward the bottom of the league. And then the Philadelphia Eagles say, we can't give this guy $60 million. We have to make a change. That is a potential path that we could head toward.
Can I choose not to?
Yeah, you absolutely
choose my own adventure.
You can absolutely choose not to. I don't want that one either. But we could say we trust Howie and all that kind of stuff, and I do too. But as much as you trust the general manager, finding a new quarterback is still finding a new quarterback. That is a potential path. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But would I be surprised by it? No. I look at things a little bit differently than everybody else because there's people that are saying, well, Jalen Hurts won, so why are we even having this conversation? There's a conversation for a reason. If they paid him this offseason, there'd be no conversation. They haven't paid him. All right, what else we got?
All right, we also have a check-in here on the Phillies conversation. This texter saying, good morning. Yes, the Phillies will be in wild card position because they are a good team. They play better on the road, and they're playing below 500 teams right now.
Yes, and they do eat there. They feast. And right now, the schedule for the Philadelphia Phillies lightens up a little bit. Until it doesn't. We went through this an hour ago. Until it doesn't. You're playing the Cardinals right now, who are fighting for a playoff spot. Good that you got that win yesterday. You're playing them again later on this month. Before that series of the Cardinals, you're playing the Marlins. We laugh at the Fish all the time. I get it. They're right there playing for a playoff spot. After the Marlins and Cardinals, you're playing the Mariners, who are fighting for a playoff spot. Then you get the Angels. Then you get the Diamondbacks, who you are fighting with for a playoff spot. The Braves for 4. The Astros, who are
fighting for a playoff spot. The Braves again. The Nationals, at that point, it's a 2-game series. Maybe they're out of it. Mets, 4-game series. They're probably dead. And then you finish the season, 6 games, Brewers, Rays. They might already be locked in, so maybe they're not having their pitchers throw 8 innings. Like, I don't know. Maybe they're going to give some guys some rest. I don't know. But I'm not going to bank on that just now.
No, this is perfect. Hot August, back in September, play the Rays the final series, clinch a playoff spot against the Rays, who end up winning the American League. You face them in the World Series just like 2022.
Damn right. Look,
it's all setting up perfectly.
And look, you fired your manager this year. Like it all worked.
We hate this team. We hated that team.
You're right. This is the way that we can go. All right, let's go to Dave in Drexel Hill. Dave, you're on the Fanatic. What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good, Dave. How are you?
I had to call y'all because it's a double standard when they judge my boy Jalen and the Eagles versus the other teams. The only thing the Eagles got to do is play good the first 7 games, but they got to make the playoffs, and they got to kick butt in the playoffs. That's what counts, because we always see nothing don't count if it ain't the playoffs. You know, if Jalen and them go to the Super Bowl, I don't care how the season went, but they make it to the Super Bowl, it's a great season.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
And I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. I'm trying to figure out what the double standard is. Like, yeah, if they get to the Super Bowl, it's a great season.
We got the Eagles already stating that they got to come out the gate great. They got to be a great offense walking right out the gate. Now they're a brand new team again. As long as they ought to play good, because we got some stars. So I'm not saying they should be stinking when we start the season, but they should be playing good.
Dave, I'm going to be patient with the offense, man. I will be, right? Like, it's brand new. It's a new offensive line coach. It's a new offensive coordinator. A.J. Brown's gone. So you do have to be patient with the offense. I don't mean you have to come out the gate, like, really strong for me to talk about 2027. Okay. What I'm saying is if this Eagles team gets to the playoffs, which I expect them to, and loses in the first round for the second straight year, third in the last 4 seasons, it's going to lead to some interesting conversations during the offseason, because even with winning the Super Bowl, it has not been sturdy ground here.
Yeah, I got a quick question for you. What if Jalen Hurts come out this season and have the greatest season he ever played? And I'm talking about really great. The Eagles, goodbye.
He wouldn't leave.
With Tom Brady,
he's under
talking to him.
He's under contract right now.
We're going to see what happens. He's going to demand that trade out.
I'll take that bet,
David. Yeah, it's not happening.
I'll bet you anything you want on that.
If Jalen Hurts balls out this year, he's already under contract, so he can't just like walk away. I don't believe that Jalen Hurts will demand a trade. If he balls out here and they do well in the playoffs, the truck will be backing up and will be dropping off the cash on his driveway.
Jalen Hurts, for the stuff that he's gotten in this town, and we've had the conversation, like rightfully, wrongfully, the criticism, like, and what he's got nationally, should have his middle fingers on both of his hands surgically stuck up to the rest of the league and to some people in town here for how he's been treated. And we haven't heard a bad word publicly about really anything.
No, the only thing was Joe Santoliquido's story. We had him on where people within Jalen's camp,
and that's not even Jalen,
has not been. People within Jalen's camp is not thrilled with how he has been treated, and how it feels like it's at certain standards for other people. And so, look, if Jalen wants to be petty, he can be petty. Like, he's right. Like, I hated as critical as I can be of Jalen Hurts. I thought it was so wrong that the stupid leaks were coming out mid-season last year, and I think a lot of it was Kevin Patullo. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick pretty much outed him, or Richard Sherman pretty much outed him for talking to Ryan Fitzpatrick all the time. I thought that was unfair. So, like, he could be petty, but, like, I don't think Jalen Hurts has a level of pettiness to say, you're welcome, now trade me.
I don't think
he's got that in him.
All the crap he's already been through, and we haven't seen, like, any of this where it's like, I don't really want to be. He handles Philly better than any quarterback in Eagles history, I think.
Yeah, probably. It's one of his great attributes.
And so now this guy's going to request a trade if he plays well here? That's not going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen. All right. Would this happen? Quick question. And we'll be speaking with Scott Lauber of the Inquirer coming up at 7:30. So one of the reasons why we're talking about stresses of the Phillies and whether or not you will allow them to stress you out, and you can vote on that poll on 97.5, the Fanatic poll of the day, brought to us by Dr. Avedon Appel and the team at Iron Mountain Men's Health. Poll strong, thanks to Dr. Avedon Appel. Speaking of polls, let's talk wood. Is there a chance that the Phillies call up this McFarland kid again and Gage Wood come September? We are in the early stages of August. The game last night in St. Louis, if it went to the 10th inning, all right, one extra inning post-regulation, 10th inning, Don Mattingly told us that Garrett Stubbs was going to have to pitch because the bullpen is that taxed right now. By the way, a bullpen that's taxed that isn't that good. Like, it's not like last night you go, all right, I would deal with this for one night because I know tomorrow all the horses are going to be good to go. They don't have ponies, let alone horses. Like, they have guys that just aren't good enough. They're not consistent enough. You have Duran, you have Bolin. Everybody else scares me when I see them coming out of the bullpen. The JT Realmuto eye roll of Jared Hughes a couple years ago, I almost get with every guy now in the Phillies bullpen. If the Phillies are serious, screw service time and all this nonsense. They might have to call. It's not just like should they because you want to see it. They might have to. Their bullpen's not good. And if we're talking about them being taxed that Garrett Stubbs would have had to have pitched last night in the 10th freaking inning, don't you need some arms with life?
Yeah, McFarland, I'd say it's not a chance. It's a high probability.
Yeah, because he got called up already this year. I don't know why he didn't get called up yesterday. In case you guys missed it, they sent down somebody, and they called up that Shugart guy again, who's not good. Like, he stinks.
Well,
Like
Caleb Killian went on the injured list.
Caleb Killian, that's right.
IL.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Oblique.
And they called up Shugart again. And everybody's like, well, why? Like, you have a guy that's dominant in the minors who, by the way, he pitched an inning for the Phillies. Like, it's not like, hey, we don't want to call this kid up. You already did, and you pitched him. What's the hesitation here?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're seeing, but I would say there's a greater than 85% chance that he pitches more innings for the Phillies this year.
All right, then what about Gage Wood?
Not as confident on him. He's got a higher than 4 ERA at AA. Like, he hasn't been exceptional there. The strikeout stuff's still good. That one feels like more of a, hey, there's a chance. I'd say a 15% chance that we see Gage Wood.
All right, you're calling up Gage Wood to be a reliever.
Oh, I got you.
Like, you're not calling him up to pitch game 4 of a playoff series. You would be calling him up to be a reliever. So can he go out there and just freaking hum?
Are you calling
for
up
an inning?
Gage Wood for the name? That's the thing you got to think about. Because if you tell me there's a guy at AA with a 4 whatever ERA.
Yeah, I think it's more the stuff thing.
Okay.
You know?
There are a lot of minor league guys with stuff.
Yeah,
and I like
sure.
Gage Wood. I think he's going to be good. The numbers to me don't say lock call up. The name does, but maybe we're overvaluing that.
Okay. I just look, they have to, they can't stick with this bullpen. They made their trades. You already lost one of the guys with an injury in Killian. So it just makes sense that McFarland comes up. Like, you have to call up one of the two. If not both, you got to call up one of the two, and it's the guy that's already been here.
Dude, I'd call you up right now. I'm
Thank
not
you.
telling you not to do it. I'm just saying, like, looking at a AA guy with those numbers, I got to squint a little bit in order to convince myself that would happen.
All right, well, Scott Lauber of the Enquirer is going to be joining us coming up next, and there's a lot to get into in a short period of time. Bryce Harper, is there a chance that we see him back at first base? He DH'd yesterday because of knee soreness that he started feeling after going back to the outfield. If that's the case, then what do you do with everybody else? Is Alec Boehm out of the lineup? Do you move Stott to the outfield? What do they do? Do they call up one of these two arms for the stretch run in September because on August 10th, if there was a 10th inning, Garrett Stubbs was going to be pitching? We'll get those answers from Scott Lauber coming up next. It's Mornings with Andrew here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Painter steps up. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies hung on to beat the Cardinals 6-5 last night after another shaky performance from the bullpen, or what was left of it at least. Andrew Painter threw 5 no-hit innings, allowing 2 hits and 2 earned in the 6th. Alan Ronhell allowed 3 in the 8th to make things interesting, but Jonathan Bolin closed the door in the 9th for his first career save. Now with the thin bullpen, Don Mattingly talked about the game actually being easy for him to manage.
It was one of the easiest games I've ever managed, actually, because you know you're not doing anything. But knowing where we were at with the pen and all the guys out there, to get that from Paint and Allen, huge sign.
It wasn't easy to watch, but the offense was. Kyle Schwarber was on base 4 times to help set up the offense, and Mundo Sosa had a 3 RBI night. Game 2 is at 7:45 tonight out in St. Louis. Christopher Sanchez faces Andre Palante. The Eagles' first preseason game is this Saturday as camp continues to ramp up. Vic Fangio will meet with the media at 9:40 this morning. The full NBA schedule will be released Thursday afternoon with some marquee games being announced as early as this morning, so we'll keep an eye on that too. Scott Lauber of the Enquirer joins us coming up next to talk about what in the world do the Phillies do with this bullpen. This update is brought to you by Verizon Business. Verizon Business experts love small businesses, so they come directly to you on your schedule with real expertise tailored to your needs. Make an appointment with a Verizon Business expert. Go to Verizon.com/book today. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
This hour is brought to you by the Bet Parks Online Casino and Sportsbook. Live bet sports on the Bet Parks app and play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the Bet Parks Online Casino and Sportsbook. Must be 21 plus in PA, New Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
7:30 here on Mornings with Andrew. Marks and Salciunas starts Monday, August 17th, so 6 days from now. So he'll hold down the fort until then. And joining us now from the Inquirer, does an amazing job covering the Philadelphia Phillies, even though they're stressing me out. 42 games left, and I don't know who can pitch the 10th inning for the Phillies at this point. Scott Lauber joins us. Scott, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Andrew. How are you?
I'm doing great, I guess. I still think the Phillies make the playoffs, which is why I'm allowing them to stress me out. Don Mattingly, after the game, talking about Garrett Stubbs would have been the pitcher in the 10th inning for the Phillies, just goes to show you the state of the bullpen right now. So, Scott, I'll ask you, because we just had this conversation before bringing you up. Are you, at this point, expecting McFarland to pitch for the Phillies out of the bullpen and maybe even Gage Wood, considering how stretched thin this bullpen is? And, oh, by the way, a bullpen that hasn't been good. So it's not only that they're stretched thin, they haven't been great.
Yeah, McFarland for sure. I got a lot of reaction yesterday after the Phillies made the announcement that they were putting Killian on the IL and recalling Sugart, and everyone was saying, why not McFarland? Why not McFarland? And my suspicion there is that, look, the plan yesterday was to try to get through that game with Andrew Painter and Ellen Ronhell. Mattingly said afterwards that they only had Jonathan Bolin available, and it was for one inning. So their plan was pretty clear, and they needed an innings eater out of that bullpen last night, and it was Ronhell. Now, my guess is that Ronhell probably gets optioned because he's not going to be able to pitch again for, he's on a starter schedule, so he's not going to be able to pitch again for 4 days.
Yeah.
And at that point, you call up McFarland, and the reason it was Sugart yesterday was that Killian went on the IL, which means Sugart could come right back. He had just been optioned out on Sunday. If you call McFarland there for Killian, then Sugart can't come back unless you have another injury. So I suspect McFarland is the move for Ronhell. If Ronhell gets optioned out now, they get another fresh arm in there, and I think that's why they did what they did yesterday. But, yeah, I mean, I would be very surprised if we're not at that point where you got to – first of all, you got to find out if Alex McFarland can help you in a meaningful way. And with the state of the bullpen, now's the time to find that out.
Scott, the other big storyline yesterday happened pregame when Bryce Harper was listed as the DH, and it comes out that he's been dealing with knee soreness specifically since going back to the outfield. Bryce Harper, as we all know, is very valuable to this baseball team. Is there a world where Bryce Harper makes his way back to first base? And if so, then what happens everywhere else?
Yeah, I mean, there's a world if, physically speaking, he has to. Like if there's some sort of, if there's an injury and if this knee thing is something that lingers for a while, it qualifies as an injury that would do it. So sure, I mean, you've got to do whatever you have to do to make sure that Bryce Harper stays in the lineup, and if that requires moving him back. Now, what's interesting about all of this is that it's been a week since he became a right fielder again at his. And he's the one who raised his hand to say, I can do this. And they said, are you serious about this? He said, yes, I am serious about this. I've been talking about this for years. I feel great. I talked to him a little bit about this last week. Physically, he said he feels as good as he has felt. Now we find out that this is something that, he supposedly fouled the ball off his knee a few weeks ago, and it just hasn't, the soreness, I guess, hasn't gone away. So, look, if his physical state changes to the point where he can't run around the outfield, but he could play first base, yeah, of course you'd have to move him back, and then you'd have to figure something out, like Alec Boehm goes to the bench or something like that in order to facilitate that. So, yeah, I mean, I guess there is a world, but I'm sure that they are still at the point right now where they're hopeful that this is a couple of days and, maybe, without having to play defense for a few days, this thing subsides and he can go back out there and do it.
All right, so you mentioned the Boehm factor, that if Harper did have to go to first base, I mean, that's kind of my follow-up with what then happens, because if Harper goes back to first base, do the Phillies want to once again do a bunch of moving parts? I remember when Arise first got traded for, there was some early reports that Bryson Stott could move his way out to the outfield. I would hate having to move Stott from second to third to now to the outfield. Do you think Alec Boehm would be the odd man out if Bryce Harper had to go back to the infield?
Yeah, I certainly think that would be the cleanest and easiest way to do it. And I'm not telling you it makes you better. I know that there are a lot of people out there who think, well, whatever. I mean, Alec Boehm is having the worst offensive season of his career. How much worse would you really be if he's on the bench and let's say Brian Delacruz is playing out in right field, or you go back to a platoon out there in some shape or form, and sort of roll with that. And I would tell you that I get it, but Alec Boehm's been whatever you want to say about him. I mean, he's been a guy who's driven in some runs for you over the years, quite a few of them actually. He's been a guy who has, again, for better or worse, batted toward the middle of your lineup for a lot of that time. It's a tough guy to just sit down on the bench if the replacement is going to be, another outfield platoon. So it's difficult, but look, if that's, like I said, if that's what they have to do, it was an imperfect solution to begin with. It would be an imperfect solution now. And, I'm sure that, like I said, I'm sure that they're hopeful that they can get Harper to a point where he can be fine physically running around the outfield. That's what he said he could do. And so unless circumstances change dramatically, I think that's still going to be their plan.
Let me ask you, Scott. I mean, you're there in the locker room, so you've talked to Alec Boehm and you've talked to the Phillies players all up and down the roster. We know that Alec Boehm was sat during a playoff series just a couple of years ago, and a lot of the thoughts is because of maybe some of the attitude. If he were to be benched, how do you think that would go over for him and then inside this clubhouse? Because let's face it, he's an emotional fella, right? He had the outburst the other day after he was the one that swung first pitch when the bases were loaded via the walk. So would he handle this well? Would this become almost a distraction? Like, this locker room, what would that mean?
Well, I mean, he wouldn't be happy with it, and you wouldn't want him to be happy with it. Number one, he's a competitive guy. Number two, he's a free agent at the end of the year, so it's going to affect his earning power, I would imagine, a little bit if he doesn't have the ability to play every day for the last 5 or 6 weeks of the season, and then the postseason if they make it. So, no, he won't be happy about it. I don't think it's going to be, so he won't receive that news. He wouldn't receive that news well. But look, I don't think it's hard to say. It's hard to speak in hypotheticals about whether there be a ripple effect or anything like that. I don't think it's anything that would take down the team. I think you'd have a very upset player. But, that's happened before where people are not happy with their roles and they just sort of, put their head down and ride it out. So, I mean, they're probably not in the Alec Boehm business much beyond the end of the season. I don't think he's coming back. They've tried to trade him how many off seasons now in a row. So it would not be the ideal situation, no, to have a guy who's unhappy, but I don't think it's going to take them down. But again, it's all hypothetical because I think their plan is, for Bryce Harper to continue playing right field, and we'll see where this knee thing goes if it takes them in a different direction.
Scott, thanks for joining us as always. I appreciate it. I wanted to run one more by you, and it's a lot, so bear with me here. I'm thinking about the playoffs, and it's great and all that I still think that they make the playoffs. There's a chance that they play 3 games, or they play 2, and the season's over, or they move on. And when you move on, you're going to need more arms. We know that Zach Wheeler and Christopher Sanchez and Jesus Luzardo will be your top 3 guys. What do you think the plans are now for that 4th start, whether it's game 1 of an NLDS or later on in the series? Is it Nola? Is it Painter? Is it Piggyback? And who are the guys out of the bullpen that you would trust in certain situations? Because I can't sit here confidently saying Nola and Painter would give me 7.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to say something that, is going to sound dramatic, and I don't think it's dramatic at all. after watching the how things went over the weekend with the extra inning games and the bullpen usage and how heavily they had to rely on their bullpen in those games, I wonder whether with 40-something games to go, whether they're going to run out of pitching.
Yeah.
And that's before they get to the postseason. So, look, I think if you told them right now that they'd get in, they would take their chances with Sanchez, Wheeler, Luzardo. And then, if it gets to a game 4, look, you'd need 3 to get through that first series. And if you get through the first series and now you need a 4th starter to start game 1 of the division series, they'd figure it out somehow, some way, some combination of Nola and Painter and bullpen and whatever. They would figure out a creative way to get through game 1 of the division series. I wonder how they get through games, 130 to 162 of the season, because you've got to get to the playoffs. And I see a top-heavy rotation, which is really, really good. But you've got a game like last night where you've got nobody available in your bullpen, and you essentially have a piggyback situation with Painter and Ron. It went really well because Andrew Painter gave you 5 1/3 no-hit innings. I mean, who expected that? What if Andrew Painter, gets shelled in the first or second inning of that game, and now you've got to just ride it out with him? What if it gets to extra innings and Garrett Stubbs has to pitch the 10th? And it may not be the last time that a game like that happens, where the bullpen's just exhausted and they have nobody else, and they end up having to concede a game because they've run out of pitching, which is what would have happened last night. They would have run out of pitching if that game had not gone according to plan. So do they have enough pitching to get them through the 162 to get to that postseason series that you're talking about? And I don't think it's being overly dramatic to at least ask the question of whether they're going to have enough, because Caleb Killian is not here anymore. He's going on the IL, and it looks like it might be a long-term thing with him. They've got 6 starters. That is it. So if they get an injury in the rotation, or if they get a comebacker off the mound and someone has to miss a start, who's your 7th guy, behind Ron? They don't have one. McFarland's going to come up. I know there are people around the league asking the question, do they move Gage Wood to the bullpen? Scouts and other people that I talk to from other teams around the league, they haven't signaled that they're going to do that yet. But would it stun me? No, it wouldn't stun me, because they might have to do it. So, I do think it's worth asking that question of, do they have enough arms to get through the rest of the season, to get to that postseason series that you're talking about? Because once they get into the postseason, they'll take their chances. You've got off days, and you've got ways to get through a postseason with fewer arms. Can't get through the regular season with fewer arms.
Scott, I made the analogy earlier today. My 2013 Honda Civic has over 160,000 miles on it. It's rusted. It shakes when I hit a certain speed. I get to work every single day. But would I be surprised that in a couple of weeks I call the people saying, hey, I'm not going to be able to get to work today, and I've been ignoring the check engine light and check this and check that? No, I wouldn't be surprised. Just like what you're saying right now, if the Phillies don't make the playoffs, would I be surprised? No. I would not be surprised. Scott, I appreciate the time, man. We'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, thanks. Anytime.
There he is, Scott Lauber of the Inquirer. I mean, I think they will make the playoffs. But as I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, I could see this team winning the World Series just as equally as I could see them missing the playoffs.
I could see them missing the playoffs a lot easier than I could see them winning the World Series.
All right, coming up next, we have today's headlines with Connor. But before that, oh, boy, we have some big news to get into. Oh, you're not going to want to miss this. Mark your calendars. Mornings with Andrew, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now back to give you an early pick-me-up is Mornings with Andrew on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, we have today's headlines with Connor Thomas coming up in a moment. And I have a story for headlines that we will lead with. All right? Not to step on your toes here.
Damn, whose segment is this?
Oh, you'll see. But you played the Sixers song going into the commercial break. And I started someone's listening too, so that makes me happy that you played it and he heard it in the car. What up, Ant? But I need to ask you to play a different song. Dude. How about an NBA triple header to start the season? The Sixers have LeBron James. It starts October 20th. Opening day in the NBA. There is an afternoon game. Pistons Celtics. I'm in, dude. Like I can't wait, dude. I got Pistons Celtics. It's a good game to start the season. But what do we have? Game 2 of opening day. Coming to you live from the Garden. LeBron James and the new-look Philadelphia 76ers will take on the defending NBA champion New York Knicks.
It's about damn time.
Oh, my God, that's how we're starting. Sixers-Knicks, October 20th. What day of the week is the 20th? You didn't tell me that much information.
I don't know.
Wait, hold on a second.
I don't know what
I need
day
to
it
know,
is.
am I off the next day? Am I going out for this? Like, I need to know what October 20th. October 20th is a Tuesday. All right.
I'll be out.
Usually that's the worst day of the week, but I'll take it. October 20th, and then the night game will be Thunder Spurs, of course, a Western Conference rivalry that's going to continue to go. And as expected, that 2 days later, the home opener would happen. I thought it would be Sixers Celtics. I thought the home opener would be Sixers Celtics, the Jaylen Brown thing, against his old team. But I'll take it. How about I didn't want to go back there for a third time, Cleveland. Sixers Cavs home opener, October 22nd. Let's go. Hopefully with Matt Cord doing the introductions.
This is going to be sick. I can't wait.
And I warned you. Sorry to the some of the folks here at 97.5 The Fanatic, because we do air the games. Sixers will be playing on Christmas Day. Sixers, Lakers, Christmas Day, LeBron's old team. Dude, the storylines with LeBron James, I love it. So there you go. Opening game for the Sixers, October 20th at the Garden against the Knicks. And then 2 days later, Xfinity Mobile Arena, Sixers host the Cavs for the home opener. Those tickets are going to be awesome. And then Sixers, Lakers, Christmas Day. That's what we have so far. The full schedule will be released later on this week, but they're doing some of the drops today in the NBA on NBC. Love it. All right, time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
Oh, I'm all hyped up now. Basketball season. It's also time for headlines, and it's brought to you by Lundy Law for over 70 years. Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. All right, take over because you're going to ruin my basketball excitement.
I will. By the way, the time of the game, Sixers Knicks, 7 o'clock on NBC, which means like 8:45 they'll probably start. But 7 o'clock. Something we have talked about numerous times that we have not announced yet on the air. You're unk now.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't announced it yet. That's why I'm stepping on your toes. It's been how many days since the child's been born?
I think he was born Wednesday.
Wednesday of last week. Congratulations, Uncle Thomas.
Might have been
Uncle
Tuesday
Connor.
night. Whatever the 4th or 5th was. Yeah,
You're off to a great start.
Shout out baby Luca. I'll remember his birthday eventually.
I saw you post it on social media. I don't know when you posted it.
I posted it yesterday.
Okay, yeah, I saw it yesterday. You know how the timeline works.
Yeah.
Sometimes you miss it.
I don't know,
I
it's
saw
been
it
busy.
yesterday. I was like, David, we still haven't announced it. It's your family, dude.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Everybody's healthy. Mom's doing fine. Everything went perfectly. Luca's back home, so things are good.
That's great.
Little Luca. I know you love that name because you're a big Luka Doncic guy, too.
Coop's name was almost Luca. It was almost Lucas Salciunas, but it was a last-second pivot. It was like that. We were at the finish line.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the tortoise won.
So I'm old now, man. I'm washed.
All right, what do you got?
I thought because you were whispering in my ear before about some Ben Simmons stuff that's where we were going there.
I can do that whenever.
All right, we'll get into that whenever. Now, I'm going to try and explain this, and I'm going to try and do a better job than the umpires in Toronto. But if you did not see what happened in the Blue Jays-Red Sox game last night, one of the weirdest baseball rulings you'll ever see. First, we'll play the audio from the TV broadcast for you so you have an idea of what was going on with runners on first and second and some amount of outs.
This is in the air to center field. Bateman setting up. And the runner at first thought there were 2 outs. Throw the ball to first. This is going to be a double play.
So what happened was the scoreboard in Toronto at the Rogers Center showed 2 outs.
Oh, no.
There was a play prior where Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had a line drive, 1 hop into his glove, and it wasn't clearly shown whether it was 1 out or 2 outs, so it was announced to the media that it was a double play. It was put on the scoreboard as 2 outs, but only 1 out has been recorded in the inning. So everybody on the Red Sox that was on base, the 2 guys on base both run. Guy gets thrown out at first because he doesn't tag up.
Yeah, because he thinks there's 2 outs.
The other runner crosses home plate. Because that's technically a timing play, and you made the appeal to first base, the runner had scored before the appeal at first had happened, and they counted the run. So the 3rd out was recorded, but the run still counted for Boston.
Wait, really? Because the guy on third never tug up.
He didn't, but you would have to appeal that. Because the Blue Jays all left the field, they forfeited their ability to appeal that runner at third, which would have been the 4th out of the inning technically, but what they would have needed to do in order to prevent that run from scoring.
Well, you know what? You know how it worked out.
Game ended 2-1, so...
No, but it worked out because I'm watching the play now. The guy would have scored from third. If they had the appropriate amount of outs shown on the screen or wherever, even though the third base coach should still, hey, we got 1 out here. But if the Rogers Center didn't screw up, the guy's scoring from third anyway. And the guy at first base would never have kept running.
Yeah.
So it kind of evened out.
Technically, yes.
The home team scoreboard people screwed up, and the road team got a run out of it.
Yeah, and Toronto, who got confused by the call, they ended up winning the game 2-1, so it ultimately didn't make a difference. So I guess no harm, no foul. But one of those weird timing plays.
Weird, man.
It hasn't happened since like 2009 in baseball where something like that has actually been enacted in a game.
And then you're surprised that it actually already happened before. That's the beauty of baseball.
So, yeah, sometimes innings have 4 outs in them.
Yeah.
The more you know.
All right.
All right. Well, I brought this name up to you earlier, and you got very excited. We're going to hear from Hillary Duff here, who had a show in Philadelphia.
Yeah, you know why I got
Sunday.
excited.
You're a big Hillary Duff fan.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, dude.
But
I mean, she's got it, dude. She
definitely does.
1 seed. Like, I think she's being slept on, man.
She was talking about
1 seed.
Another legend of the game who she was comparing herself to as she continues to make her North American tour.
We started in Florida, went to LA. We've ended up here. I'm starting to feel like LeBron.
She gets it too.
Yeah, a little sports play there.
I didn't realize she got it too.
Wasn't familiar with her game.
I wasn't familiar that she was touring. I wasn't familiar that she's doing concerts. I wasn't familiar with anything other than how she looks right now. I was very familiar with that. She's a beautiful woman. Very, very beautiful. Yeah. I know a couple of years ago, How I Met Your Father, they did How I Met Your Mother, they did a spin-off, How I Met Your Father. Christy loved the original show, so she said, why don't we sit down and watch this? And I was like, oh, Hillary's in it. Big fan.
Yeah, she's the LeBron of
I'll watch.
Disney stars.
It was the worst show I've ever seen in my life. Dude, it was the worst show I have ever watched. I watched maybe an episode or 2, and I said, I can't watch this anymore. This is trash.
Yeah.
She's great, though.
Sometimes you just got to fill space, which is what's happening in the NBA news cycle. Thank God we have the schedule release coming out.
All right. Well,
because
go ahead.
Oh, because we had some crazy stuff said in the NBA yesterday.
What?
Did you see the Monte Ellis comments?
No, I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, this is via Myron Metcalf.
That's an NBA 2K legend right there.
Well, he said yesterday that real people that know basketball and all that, they know that the team that I was dealing with and everything, if you switched me and Steph out with the team that won the championships, it would be the same thing. Stop. Then Jeff Teague followed up, responded to those comments, saying maybe not Monte Ellis, but if you had Dame Lillard on those Golden State Warriors teams, I could see them having the same level of success. What are we doing here?
Yeah, we got to stop. Steph Curry's one of the greatest players in the history of the NBA. Monte Ellis needs to be evaluated for crack cocaine for saying something like that. I liked him. Good, great scorer.
You get a bucket, man.
Great scorer. Great NBA 2K player. But yeah, he should be evaluated for crack cocaine.
We've reached the everyone is Steph Curry, hypothetically, point of the NBA offseason.
No, we have reached the everybody's got a podcast, and too many people talk nowadays. All right, coming up next, we start the 8 o'clock hour. Tuesdays with Amy. Amy Fadul in studio today. We'll get back to our topics that we've been discussing so far this morning. The pressure of the Phillies, will you allow them to stress you out? Urgency of the Eagles. And coming up at 8:30, there's a fascinating under-the-radar story in the NFL right now that I cannot wait to talk about, man, because it impacts the Eagles. It's Mornings with Andrew, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Bills take game one. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies hung on to beat the Cardinals 6-5 last night after another shaky performance from the bullpen. This one was more because of who they had or didn't have available. Andrew Painter threw 5 no-hit innings, allowing 2 hits and 2 earned in the 6th inning, but a strong start for him. Alan Ronhell allowed 3 in the 8th, and that made things real interesting. But Jonathan Bolin closed the door in the 9th for his first career save. They needed it. Don Mattingly saying after the game it would have been Garrett Stubbs throwing in extra innings. But Bolin got the job done, and he talked about his first career save after.
I actually haven't had time to think about it, but family being here, it's very special. Family means the world to me, but personal accolades, that's cool. I mean, that's awesome. Let's see. I'll keep going and see where this thing goes.
Kyle Schwarber kept going with his hot performance as of late. He was on base 4 times to help set up the offense. Edmundo Sosa, 3 RBI night. Game 2 against the Cards, 7:45 this evening. Christopher Sanchez on the mound against Andre Palante. The Eagles' first preseason game is this Saturday as camp continues to ramp up. Vic Fangio will meet with the media at 9:40 this morning. And the full NBA schedule will be released Thursday afternoon, but we've got some marquee games already. Sixers playing opening night against the Knicks on October 20th. The home opener, October 22nd, hosting Cleveland. And they will play against the Lakers on Christmas Day. Amy Fadul joins us coming up next. She'll be with us for the rest of the show. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
You've heard of the Heart Foundation. You've heard of D-Generation X. You've heard of the Road Warriors, but have you heard of the Steamheads? Andrew Salciunas, a.k.a. the host, and Connor Thomas, a.k.a. producer, are back to bring you more hard-hitting Philly sports talk on Mornings with Andrew, right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Reminder for the record, it's true, but I didn't ask for it. This is Mornings with Andrew here on 97.5 The Fanatic, and joining us now in studio for the rest of the show, as she always does on Tuesday mornings, the great Amy Fadul. Happy Tuesday, Amy.
Happy Tuesday. Happy schedule.
Kind of release day?
Yeah.
Well,
we all know it's coming this week, so you knew that some of the stuff would start happening.
It's a Tuesday today. Tuesday, October 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Sixers, Knicks at the Garden. I mean, it was a
given. It was pretty much a lock.
It was a lock between that, Lakers, or Celtics.
Well, they did the Celtics last year, which I had this conversation with someone, and they were like, no, they didn't. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And they said, no, the Sixers didn't open with the Celtics last year. And I said, okay,
yes,
sir.
they did. VJ Edgecombe went off.
Yeah, VJ Edgecombe went crazy.
Excited.
Also, I don't know if I keep a notebook, okay? I have a notebook of every single game that I write down notes in. Like, now I remember that game. And he was like, wasn't that at Celtics? Yeah, sir.
This
is a Wendy's, sir.
This
is a Wendy's, yes.
Yeah.
Sir.
Just listen to the person that does pre and post game.
Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as soon as I was like, well, it's not going to be the Knicks. I thought Cavaliers, but that doesn't have enough juice to it.
It's very LeBron. This is the LeBron juice.
Yeah,
it's not the league-wide juice.
So
but you get that 2 days later. Home opener, Sixers Cavs, October 22nd, and then the Christmas Day game, Sixers Lakers.
Don't forget Gansey's
and Gansey. That's true. I love the 5 o'clock slate. That is the perfect slate for the Christmas Day stuff because you're well past presents.
You've already had
dinner's
a nap.
early.
Yeah, you've already had a nap at that point.
Yeah, we host
likeness.
Christmas Day, and dinner's always ready by 4 because there's football games.
Absolutely.
I mean, by the way, the Eagles aren't playing Christmas Day, so we're good there. But 5 o'clock, that's the prime. I'm done cooking.
Yes. You're enjoying
I'm
things.
done cleaning the wrapping paper that Santa brought.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to pour myself a stiff cocktail and forget about the rest of the night.
Just enjoy.
Literally.
have a little dessert with your Sixers game.
Yeah, 5 o'clock. That's perfect for Christmas Day. So the schedule's being released this week, but we know so far that the Sixers will be a part of the opening day, triple header opening day. Sixers have the second game against the Knicks. Christmas Day, they'll be playing the Lakers. The home opener will be October 22nd against the Cavs, and we will continue to update you on every single national television game that pops up because there's going to be plenty of them for the Sixers this year.
The max national televised games. Well, there's a difference between nationally televised and exclusive television, right? So I think of the 34, half or so, maybe 16 can be exclusive. So even the ones that are going to be on I don't think it's ESPN. I think you can do side by side with ESPN, NBC, NBA TV. Those are considered national. So there's a lot of side by side. So they'll still be on. Majority of them will still be on NBC.
Respectfully, because I think NBA TV is actually slept on.
That's good.
There's no way they're going to put LeBron on NBA TV, right? I feel like that's not as well known. I don't think people talk about NBA TV that often.
Yeah, which is weird. I think that's still considered a national game.
It is. No, I know that it is.
We do side-by-sides with them. But, there might be a Jazz game that they want to have on national television.
Yeah, MLB Network is talked about still. The NFL Network, I understand the merger with ESPN, but the NFL Network was a thing.
Yeah, NBA TV used to be a thing, and then there were so many broadcast versions of it. They were oh, you stopped. You just didn't watch NBA TV. And now they've tried to, the last couple of years, putting some marquee games on it.
I can't imagine there's going to be many on that one for the Sixers.
No, I would think there's maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah. All right. So, Amy, we've been getting to a lot of stuff. Obviously the schedule coming out or some of these games coming out is going to be something that we will update everybody on. But we have 2 topics that are sort of in the same church, just different pew. One of them is about stress and one of them is about urgency, which, again, same church, different pew. You could be stressful when things are urgent. So let's start with the Phillies. Our poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Abaddon Appel and the team at Iron Mountain Men's Health. It's strong, as it always is. Connor, what do we have as the question and the results so far this morning? And then I want to explain to Amy as to why we're having this discussion.
I told you the first time we checked in, this is going to get real interesting. It's gotten more so. Will you allow the Phillies to stress you out the rest of the season? Previously, more people were saying yes, but it was like 46-54. Now, 51% of our responders are saying no, they won't let him stress them out. 49% are saying yes.
I voted yes.
I have a read on this situation. I bet you 50% of this fan base thinks they make the playoffs, 50% of this fan base thinks they don't.
So, like, the stress level.
If you think they're going to make the playoffs, which I do, I'm stressed out.
You're not,
If you don't think that they're going to make the playoffs, you're just like, yeah, this team stinks. I'm not going to get stressed out by it.
Or you just think they're going to make the playoffs and I'm not super stressed. I think that's a very, very small percentage.
Right.
Because if you're really thinking that, you should be a little bit stressed because they're not showing a lot of signs.
They have a one-game lead of the
things
Padres
out.
right now. One-game lead. It's unbelievable. So the reason why this comes up is because yesterday was a stressful day. Not just the game itself, right? The game is obviously stressful because every Phillies game seemingly is stressful right
Certainly
now.
The last couple of weeks.
You win
so.
6-5. It's a Painter start. Going into the start, you knew that Andrew Painter had to pitch like a decent amount of innings because the bullpen was completely taxed. We did not know about how bad it was, who was unavailable, the entire roster except for one guy. But going into it, we knew if you just look at the previous games, a lot of extra innings games. Andrew Painter left his last start early. The bullpen's being used a lot recently. Caleb Killian gets hurt, so that's an arm that's gone. The guy that you call up is Shugart, who just pitched 2 innings the other day. Maybe he wasn't going to be available.
Yep.
So going into it, you knew you needed a lot of innings from Andrew Painter. Does that ever make you feel good right now? No. And you knew that they were going to piggyback with Alan Ronhell. Does Alan Ronhell make you confident? No, he doesn't. Then we find out after the game from Don Mattingly that the bullpen was so taxed that Jonathan Bolin, Big John, was the only guy available.
Only one available.
He got his first career save, so good to know that he can handle the 9th inning. And then Don Mattingly tells us after the game that if it went to the 10th inning, one extra inning, Garrett Stubbs would have had to have pitched for the Phillies.
Which is just in a game that was 1 run.
Not the 15th inning.
No.
The 10th inning.
The first extra inning.
That's how taxed they are.
They had several extra innings in that Blue Jays series.
But here's the problem, Amy. They're taxed and not good. Like it's
right.
Like it's one thing. It's like, all right, look, we got to deal with this loss, scheduled loss, as Doc Rivers said. Like, all right, scheduled loss, but they'll be back at it tomorrow. They're not that good. Like the bullpen's not good.
Yeah,
and
you'll get like 1 or 2 occasional outings. You're like, oh, that's not terrible. That's where our bar is.
Yeah, Alvarado can give you a not terrible outing, and then the next day he'll be terrible.
I feel like his not terrible outings are really few and far between.
Yeah, the terrible ones are becoming more common.
Correct.
Now, also before the game, Bryce Harper's knees bothering him. Knee soreness since going to the outfield.
Apart.
So there is a chance. We had Scott Lauber on about 40 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
There is a chance that Bryce Harper, if this doesn't get better, like quick, goes back to first base. And if he goes back to first base, Alec Boehm would be the guy on the bench most likely. And even that's a stressful situation because have you ever been around the person that you go, I really hope this doesn't go the direction that it might because I know how that person's going to handle it.
There's a lot of people that I would have a little bit more faith in, to come off the bench as the bench bat than Alec Boehm.
Not just the ability to play, the energy.
Also the mentality.
Like I don't want to be around a person that's freaking miserable all the time. You think Alec Boehm would be fine being benched?
No.
I don't think so in his contract year where he's already playing himself out of making really much money at all. But, like, that's a stressful situation.
But he's the obvious odd man out.
Obviously, yeah. He has to be.
'Cause you're not going to sit Stott.
No.
You imagine losing
and I'm
that
not,
glove
and
in
I'm
the
not moving
infield?
him again.
No.
I'm not moving him to the outfield
No,
now.
no.
Like there was that first report.
That guy is a quintessential infielder. He's a very, very good infielder.
Keep him there. Yeah.
It's not that hard.
It's not, but we'll see. I mean, right now it's stressful, and so the poll shows you. I think it's 50-50
because it's like
they make the playoffs or not.
There's people that are just like I don't think they're going to make it, so I'm not worrying about it.
No,
I think there's a third category too, which is kind of where I find myself, which is like
make the playoffs, but you don't think much.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
So
either
that
way.
doesn't stress you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know how this ends.
I imagine that's probably if you had to include that third option, I would think you'd have some of the 50% or the 40% 49% to go that way.
Yeah.
How long until we get our first, I don't even want them to make the playoffs, because if they don't make the playoffs, it might actually change things, text or call or.
It hasn't happened yet?
I remember the trade deadline. I don't want them to make trades because they're not going to win anything.
I feel like I've seen that.
Is there going to be if they don't make the playoffs, you have to fire Dave Dombrowski text? Have we gotten one of those yet?
I don't believe we have to this point, because I think there's so much stress day to day with this team that people haven't even gotten to the playoff thought yet.
Okay.
But I think that'll pop up in September.
Now that you put it out there in the ether.
Somebody's going to agree to it.
Before the end of the show, we'll get that text now.
42 games left. Are you going to allow the Phillies to stress you out? 610-632-0975. The other topic that we have on hand, this one's the urgency conversation. Mm-hmm. Amy, do you get the sense from this city, because this is a fan base conversation, so I want people of the fan base to respond. I'm not trying to make a statement. I'm just going off of what I'm seeing on social media, the conversations that we have with people. Do you think that there is any sense of urgency with this upcoming Eagles City with the fans? Because I haven't felt it.
It's interesting. I was talking about this with Jim Lineman yesterday, because we did a Sixers talk show and we did some elements for the morning shows. And I was just talking to him, who has obviously been around this town really long time, been around basketball, been around sports, consumes all sports, not just basketball, clearly. But we were talking about the lack of interest is not the right word, but like usually at this time of year, everybody's like hanging on every single tweet and social media post about training camp and who looks what and what are
Jalen Hurts' stats at training camp.
Exactly. How many drops there were and whatever else. None of that's happened. And a large part is because so much focus has been on the Sixers and LeBron James. So I think it seems weird to kind of like extrapolate that into how fans are feeling about it. But I feel like it's been so much in the background that people haven't really thought about it. Because if you ask somebody, there is that level of concern, but it doesn't ooze off of them. It's not forthcoming. It's not like at the forefront like it's been in years past of like, let's see how Brian Johnson's going to do. Let's see how Kevin Petullo's. Like, there's big questions about this offense, not just because it's new, but because it is so new, because it is so different from him under center and everything like that. So I don't get the sense that there's the fan base of like, I don't know if this is going to work like I have in years past when we've had a new offensive coordinator in town. But I'm trying to think, is it because that there's just been too much distraction and they're not focusing on it, or is there really just not that level of concern?
So maybe it's either of those. The reason why I bring it up is because this is a really freaking big year.
Yeah.
So Amy,
you want to send Lane Johnson out with a bang, don't you?
Uh-huh. I don't know if you're a believer of multi-universe, in one world we're here, but in another world we're there. I don't know how deep you are in Connor and I talked about it a little bit earlier today. Alternate universe.
Different paths that you could go down.
Alternate universe, Kawhi's shot didn't go in, and alternate Andrew is celebrating on Broad Street that the Sixers won the NBA Finals. But I live
alternate
in this,
LeBron.
Yeah, no alternate LeBron. Well, maybe. You don't know. Maybe LeBron says, you know what, that's the best chance for me
maybe
to
LeBron's
win.
been here the whole time.
Yeah, maybe LeBron came here during that offseason or whatever it was.
We don't even know what's happening over there.
So, Amy, I'm going to bring this up, and I don't want people getting angry because that's how we are. We are so reactionary. We freak out. I want to talk about the potential paths that this team could go toward. All right? Obviously, there's the path that everything goes swimmingly. They win the Super Bowl, and we're thrilled. That's the path that we all want, right? But then there's the other paths. There's the path that Jalen Hurts is okay. Or worse, but let's just say he's okay. Is he going to get $60 million from the Philadelphia Eagles for being okay? And if okay means, once again, bottom third of the league passing offense for a third straight year with the offensive coordinator that they brought in that they think very highly of in Sean Mannion, and they let him literally sign players that fit his scheme, if he's just okay, do the Eagles give him the contract extension, the renegotiated contract, because once again, for the billionth time, he will not play on this current deal next year because the guaranteed money goes down. That's one path. The Sirianni path is a possibility. What if they lose in the first round of the playoffs again? Is Nick Sirianni a lock to still be the head coach next year? Has it felt sturdy? Has the Sirianni ground felt sturdy ever, even with the 2 Super Bowl appearances and the 1 championship.
Maybe after the first Super Bowl appearance, that's like the only time I thought, well, they're not going to fire this.
But then 2023 happened, and you're
then
going,
you're like, he's gone.
wait, what?
And then they won it. And then the next
And
year,
then they
like,
won.
maybe.
And then the next year sucked.
Maybe.
And the culture, which he's supposed to be really good at, and I think that he is, but the culture was not
Took a
great.
hit, yeah.
That's another path. We know that Lane Johnson might retire after this season. If he does, the next path might be we don't have a right tackle. I don't know who Markel Bell is. Do they know who Markel Bell
It's a
is?
rookie, so that's a tough one.
Miami, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, see, they know.
They know him.
They know him
Quinyon,
because he's got his name on the jersey.
Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean will both be getting paid next offseason as well, most likely. If that's the case, you guys know that there's a world, one of these paths, that Saquon Barkley's not an Eagle anymore.
Correct.
That once again, the linebacker position is the cheap position because you have Jahad Campbell and you might not be able to keep Zach Bond. It almost feels like there is a sense of urgency that nobody's felt yet, that they have to get the job done this year or at least be highly competitive for us to say, wow, that was a really fun season. Because if it's much like last year, we might see a totally different Eagles team in 2027.
Yeah, if it was last year or it was similar to last year where the offense struggles down the stretch, they don't see the results, you're ousted super early in the postseason. You can't have those early playoff exits and then expect things not to change. If you have an early playoff exit and your quarterback just looks average, you're not going to pay him that kind of money. And a quarterback that leads this team to the Super Bowl, then yes, you will pay him that money because then you believe in that. No matter what it might look like, because you do believe in that. It's hard to, the proof is in the pudding type of vibe. But if there's not that overarching success on all levels, because you have to remember, it's not just Sean Mannion, it's a whole new offensive line coach.
It's Chris Cooper.
I know people are really high on Chris Cooper, as they should be. I mean, he's got a good pedigree, but Jeff Stoutland literally created offensive linemen. He took a guy that played rugby and made him into a guy that had the fact that Mailata's never made the Pro Bowl is just wild to me. Logistic, like he made it like outright. Which I think that is probably an oversight, and he should be making it.
Sure.
But it's one of those things that so many people credit their careers to this guy. I think you can't overlook that aspect of it. And then there's other changes along the way that you're like, well, maybe they're not going to be this and maybe they're not going to be. So if you have all those.
What if Vic Fangio retires?
Yeah. And that's another thing. That was a contemplation this past offseason.
Like, think about it. 2027.
That's the one thing you don't have to worry about is the defense. You're like, check.
The offseason of 2027, buckle up, guys. Like, let's get through this season first. But I can't stop thinking about it.
The good news is baseball will be here to save us in 2020.
Maybe it won't be. All right, what do we have on the Davis Honda text line? Feel the Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington, 610-632-0975. That's how you can text in, leave your voice memo. Love to hear from you as well. Voice memos, phone calls. What do we got?
All right, so we have people checking in on the Philadelphia Phillies conversation, and this texter says they should absolutely move Harper back to first. The reason he's feeling it is because our pitching stinks, and they've been serving up meatballs like Olive Garden. So Kirkering and Alvarado screwed the bullpen for the week with this past weekend's performances. They need a lot of things to change.
This past weekend, no, they screwed up this bullpen for the season. Orion Kirkering and Jose Alvarado and Brad Keller were looked at as, we got the 7th and 8th innings on lockdown, and you got Duran the 9th. Mm-hmm. Those guys being unavailable or bad, which Kirkering in the last month has been bad, Alvarado's been bad all season, and Brad Keller before being hurt was bad.
I don't want to put Keller in there. He was
before the injury was bad.
He was bad compared to what we would kill to have that dude in the bullpen.
I got you.
Correct.
But the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings that we thought, man, these starting pitchers. Think about it. Go back to March when we were talking. Man, this rotation. Look at these guys. Andrew Painter's your 5th starter. They just need to give you 5 innings, and we got this bullpen. Wow.
It gives you 5, and then the bullpen implodes.
I mean,
and then you're relying on your starters like Wheels, Luzardo.
I need you to go 7,
Sanchez to go 7 minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum.
And then you wonder about arm fatigue and all that kind of stuff.
Now you wonder if Zach Rouleau doesn't want to come out. Listen, I've got this lead.
Yeah, Luzardo's probably like, well, that was fun. I'm out, cool. Somebody's going to blow this lead, and I'm not going to get the win for this one.
I know they don't look at it like that, but it's got to be tough to swallow.
It's unbelievable. All right, coming up next, speaking of storylines, we told you that the 2027 Eagles offseason could be fascinating. If they win the Super Bowl, It's actually a boring
It'll be
offseason.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating because we'll be so excited.
If they lose in the first round, it's going to be fascinating. But there is a storyline in the NFL right now that is not being talked about enough. It's a major, major storyline, in my opinion, because it impacts the Eagles. It already did. I'll start there. The storyline has already impacted the Eagles, and it could impact them even more. I'll tell you what, it's a crazy one next here on Mornings with Andrew, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Phils survive in St. Louis. I'm Connor Thomas. The Phillies hung on to beat the Cardinals 6-5 last night after another shaky performance from the bullpen. Andrew Painter, 5 no-hit innings. He ended up going 5 1/3. He allowed 2 hits and 2 earned in the 6th inning, but he got the job done in a big way. Alan Ronhell, he allowed 3 in the 8th to make things interesting, but Jonathan Bolin closed the door in the 9th for his first career save. Don Mattingly talked about the thin bullpen stepping up afterward.
It was one of the easiest games I've ever managed, actually, because you know you're not doing anything. But knowing where we were at with the pen and all the guys out there, to get that from Paint and Allen, huge tonight.
Kyle Schwarber was also big for the Phils last night. He was on base 4 times. Edmundo Sosa had a 3 RBI night. Game 2 is at 7:45 this evening in St. Louis. Christopher Sanchez versus Andre Palante. The Eagles' first preseason game is this Saturday as camp continues to ramp up. Vic Fangio will meet with the media at 9:40 this morning. And the full NBA schedule is going to be released Thursday afternoon, but we got some marquee games already out. You've got Sixers-Knicks opening night of the NBA season on the 20th of October. The 22nd of October, the home opener for the Sixers against the Cavs. And then on Christmas Day, Sixers-Lakers. The LeBron revenge tour already starting when you look at those scheduled games. Amy Fadul will be with us for the rest of the show. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
You're waking up with Mornings with Andrew on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, if you missed it, we do have 3 Sixers games on the schedule. The schedule will be released in full this week, but they're starting to put out some of the games for the nationally televised schedule. Sixers-Knicks on opening day. The opening day of the NBA will be a triple header. It'll be Pistons-Celtics in the afternoon. Sixers-Knicks will be at 7 o'clock, more like 9 by the time it starts. And then Thunder-Spurs will be the nighttime game.
Because it's
it's not going to start on time. But the Sixers will be at the Garden to start the season with LeBron James and Jaylen Brown and Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. Can't wait. The home opener 2 days later, Sixers will host the Cavs on the 22nd. And we know that the Sixers will be playing on Christmas Day in L.A. against the Lakers. LeBron against his old team. Sixers-Lakers, 5 o'clock. That's my favorite time.
I was really hoping that would be a home game.
Yeah.
Just because Disney on Ice doesn't start till later. They haven't had one here in a while. I guess maybe it's next year. Act like you Cooper would love to go.
I took him once. He hated it.
Really?
He was miserable.
How old was he?
3.
Oh.
A late.
Seems like a prime.
A late 3.
Seems like that's a prime
Yeah,
time
no,
to go.
he hated it.
Copy that.
Not a big Disney kid. He's a big,
He'll get there.
The only one he likes is cars.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe monster trucks might be more his speed.
Yeah, probably, although he doesn't like loud noises either. All right, so there is a major story. It gets hard, Amy.
Trying to find answers.
Why do you think I'm driving down the shore every freaking weekend? I got to find something the kid likes. There's a huge story. Well, I guess it's not huge if it's not huge if people aren't talking about it much, but I think it's a huge story, at least here, because it already impacted the Eagles, but it could impact them even more. Remember when the story dropped about Terrion Arnold, the cornerback of the Detroit Lions, that he was accused of orchestrating the kidnapping and beating of 3 men who prosecutors believe he wrongly suspected of stealing $100,000 in cash from him, along with luxury watches and bags.
You stole from me, so I stole you.
Yes. He is facing 4 counts of kidnapping, 4 counts of armed robbery, which carry a potential sentence of life in prison. There has been no trial date set yet. When all this happened, the Lions released him like the next day, right? Like I don't even think
it's like 12 hours.
Yeah, I don't think they waited long at all. And so when I say this has already impacted the Eagles, Terrion Arnold's a really good football player. He was hurt a lot last year. His rookie year, he was really good with the Lions. He was one of the top picks. Remember, he was the Quinyon Mitchell draft. It was, should the Eagles select Quinyon Mitchell, Terrion Arnold, or what was your boy? Kool-Aid McKinstry?
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Yeah. So it was one of those 3 guys. Terrion Arnold had a good rookie season, was hurt a lot last year, but he's a good player.
Yep.
Lockdown corner.
So the Lions.
That's not. I'm not biting.
The Lions release him. So you look at a team that's still in the conversation as one of the top teams in the NFC, the Detroit Lions, even though they didn't make the playoffs last year. Do you know that he was brought in for a workout this week? Did you guys see this?
I actually did not.
You didn't see this?
No.
Yeah.
Where?
Was this like...
Where?
Yeah.
By the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, who already have a really good defense, who lost cornerback Reek Woolen to free agency, comes with the Eagles, even though Reek Woolen wasn't like playing every single down for them, him and Josh Jobe. The defending Super Bowl champions brought in Terrion Arnold for a workout. Coach McDonald was asked about it. Did this actually happen? He said yes. It was a great visit. We're still waiting to see how the league and how the whole legal system plays out. But the Seattle Seahawks brought him in. Do you know that other teams have as well or are scheduled to have him? The New Orleans Saints, he has a scheduled visit with later on this week. And he already visited another top defense in the NFL, the Houston Texans. This guy could still get a job.
Well, the thing is,
it could be the Seahawks.
And the way that the legal system works, there's a good chance whatever, motions, you haven't even had a preliminary, you said there's no trial date set, none of that stuff. That stuff was probably not going to come to fruition until well after the season ends.
Yeah.
Could you stomach having him play for you knowing that's hanging over his head?
I don't know. Stephon Diggs, there was a lot of stuff that happened with him last year, and then the Patriots were like, yeah, but we're trying to win a Super Bowl. And then
the Patriots have other stuff in their closet.
Yeah, exactly.
So
but
they
as soon as
a lot of stuff in there.
But
and
what
just figure
happened as soon
we'll
as the
open it
season
later.
ended? They did not bring him back. Didn't they release him?
Yes.
Yeah, they
did
released him. Like,
well, when you open the closet, if you're stuffing stuff in there, it tends to fall on you.
There's a lot
so
of
you
stuff
just try to
ends up in
or you just
Arizona.
move. Either way.
so from the story on ESPN, if the Seahawks sign Arnold, it's not clear when his legal situation would allow him to play. The quote from Coach McDonald, I think we understand that anything is kind of on the table, and that's where we're at in the process. But it almost seems like they would welcome him with open arms if he is eligible to play, because I don't know if he's on like the ineligibility list. Like I don't know exactly where he's at right now.
What his
with all
status
that.
is?
Because you can be ineligible to play even without the legal stuff going on.
You've seen that over the
league.
years.
It's Roger
I
Goodell's
don't-
decision.
Yeah, it is overarching. You'd have to read some of the finer print in the Players Association, like the union
Right.
agreement, to see exactly. But the end-all, be-all is the fact that if the commissioner puts you on his commissioner's list, which is not a good list. It seems like it should be a fun list. It's not.
Doesn't sound like
you don't
it,
want to be
yeah.
on that list. That's a no-go.
The Seahawks had strong interest in Arnold leading up to the 2024 draft when the Lions eventually selected him. Another quote from Coach McDonald, we're going to do our due diligence. There's a lot of people in Terrian's corner that we respect in terms of their view of the type of guy he is. So we're going to work through all that, and I trust our people to make the best decision for us. We also think this is a great place to come work, too, and that people can be the best versions of themselves when given the opportunity. So kind of works both ways.
But wait, based on what's been reported, people implicated Terrian are folks that have been felons in the past. At the June 29th bond hearing, Judge blah, 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 I don't know what his name is, questioned the strength of the case, and prosecutors said they were not there yet as far as having a strong case against Arnold. The bond signifies the judge is still waiting to see more evidence and has skepticism, and could be dismissed on August 13th.
So in 2 days. And if everything's dismissed.
There's some other hearing or something's happening in the August 13th.
If everything's dismissed, think about this for a second.
This is wild. This is a wild turn of events if it is.
This is a fascinating league-wide conversation. I'm sorry that the way I'm trying to spin it into the Eagles, because I know how we are around here. The way we spin it to the Eagles is the Seahawks are still a top team in the NFC, right? They're still going to be competing for one of those top seeds, even though everybody's saying the Rams will be the team that wins that division. Think about this from the Lions' perspective. The Lions may have just, we got to release him.
Well,
What
yeah.
if everything's dropped? If everything's dropped, they just lost their first-round corner. And if I'm Terrian Arnold, he's going, I'm not re-signing with you guys. I mean, different circumstance. The Carter Hart situation with the Flyers.
Right. There are a lot of, that was actual prosecution and there's a lot of different things, and there was a lot of information that came out.
But he was
about
never
that.
going to come back here.
That was never going to happen.
No.
I think you had to make, and I don't want to speak for the Lions, but the Eagles have obviously signed players who've been, Mike Vick comes to mind. Obviously, he just had that press conference yesterday because he and Deshaun Jackson will be playing each other again at the link. He's always one that comes to mind as far as second chances and served his time or whatever else. This is, you kind of made that decision knowing that it could go against you, right? If I'm the Lions, I made this decision knowing maybe nothing comes of it, but we have to save face.
Yeah.
This is not a good look for us. I don't know. I think all the teams would have done that. I don't know. Even if he was drafted by the Seahawks as the 24th overall pick, and this happened, and he was living in Seattle, I think they would have had to be like, we can't stomach this.
Right.
And
But
then-
Seattle's now going, if I'm reading the tea leaves here, if this could get
I didn't know all that
dropped.
stuff, so I just read all
Wait,
of that.
our really, really freaking good defense could get a first-round corner here?
And if they are dropped, the number of suitors are going to be plentiful.
Yeah, but you know what Terrian Arnold probably does? Wow, you guys.
You were the first ones to really show me interest and back me up.
Yeah. Dude, it's an unbelievable story that's definitely not being talked about enough.
I feel
That
like
this
we need
guy,
more information
who
on
is
what
a
happened
first
in that
round,
house.
he's entering the early prime of his career, right?
How old is
Third
he?
year.
Yeah,
he's
he's
23, maybe 24 years old.
24. I think he's 24.
He's 23 and turned 23 in March.
Oh, geez. Really?
Like, this guy might be 23 years old, former first-round pick. The only reason why, like, he was hurt last year. It's not like he had a bad year. He was hurt last year. Could join the defending Super Bowl champions.
Bro's been
Already have a
kidnapping
really good
people
defense.
as long as he can legally drink.
Yeah.
This is insane.
Yeah.
What in the world?
And he might just, I'm charged
How
to
do you
drop.
sell that? Like,
Yeah,
to the
I just-
organization,
I
the
feel
fan
like there's-
base.
I know that, you know,
Fan base,
obviously
hey, we
when
got
you
a better,
have-
we got a
Right.
good player.
when you have the conspiracy and all this other stuff, there's obviously a lot of moving parts, and you're trusting people who are probably not very trustworthy because these guys apparently that were in this grouping are convicted felons already. But a part of me is just like, when there's smoke, there's got to be at least a little bit of a spark. on the
Yeah,
fire.
I would think
That
so.
would be hard for me to stomach as a fan.
Well,
But I mean, but there's some people that overlook that stuff. And that's
there's
great. Good for them.
absolutely people that are going to overlook stuff,
There's
especially
people that
when
overlook a lot of stuff.
Yeah, especially talented players.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Talented players. Easier to overlook things when they're talented.
Which is that's disappointing. But
Yeah.
that's true. It's not
But
just true for sports.
No,
That's true
yeah.
for a lot of things. You overlook a lot of things.
This industry.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like-
Salciunas has character issues up and down, but he's good at what he does.
I
so-
could write a
He's good in the room.
I could,
Yeah, he's
I
great
could
in the
write a book, man. All right, coming up next. Fascinating story. So I'm glad that we were able to talk about it. It's great to see Kyle Schwarber get hot again.
Oh, I thought he had that one last night.
I know. So did Tom McCarthy. He thought-
Like, Shawnee's downstairs watching because I let him stay up, and he's like, "Oh my!" I was like, "Oh, it's not. It's not going."
Yeah, it didn't carry. But Kyle Schwarber. Speaking of, did you guys see this? Did you guys see that his game Sunday that I was in attendance for was historic?
Did not see that.
Well, I'll tell you a ridiculous stat next that includes incredible all-time names. It's Mornings with Andrew, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Starting Monday, August 17th, brace and done with It's Mornings with Andrew on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right. I'll give you the Kyle Schwarber crazy stat. Crazy in a moment here. But a couple of things. I will tell 2 stories that involve chocolate.
Wait, there's another one?
There's another one. And I think you would really appreciate the other one.
Okay.
Being a mother of 2 children. First, I just FaceTimed my wife just to say hi. You know, we're out the door so early that I don't get to say hi to them. And so, Connor, I went to our back hallway here, which leads to the lockers that you're the only person that uses them. And there's the windows because I like to look outside, you know, during the breaks because we're in this box of a room.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the windows.
And I have my hands. I have my hands on
once or twice.
You know, on the ledge. I got my hands there as I'm FaceTime with Chrissy. I have the phone propped up against the window. And then I look at my hand. There's chocolate on my hand.
Is not okay.
Who's going back there?
But also
and eating chocolate, and then it smears on the.
So there's 2 theories because you just said this, and I was like, how in the world? That's where my mind goes. Did you have a chocolate bar, unwrapped, and you thought I can't hold this right now? I'm going to put it on the windowsill, or were you eating said chocolate bar and you had nowhere to wipe it, so you wiped it on the windowsill?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Both are disgusting options.
I was wondering when people were going to find my chocolate corner back there.
I'm sorry about
eat
that.
a bunch of Hershey Kisses and call it a
I was
day.
going to clean it up. I promise.
I am just so disgusted by a lot of people around
There's
here.
a lot of things that
Yeah, this
like,
place is disgusting, and I don't get it. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm glad that you're here because I can talk about this. So on Saturday, I did a day trip down the shore because it was 1,000,000 degrees up here, and so why not go down the shore? My sister was down there with my nephew. It was a nice day. We're in the non-nap window of life right now, where there's days where Coop's going to nap, but then there's days where Coop's not going to nap, and he did not nap. And it was 6 o'clock, and we had to drive home, and I was like, crap. I don't want him to fall asleep because then...
Right, because then that's going to, like, really mess up the night schedule.
Life changes. Like, oh, now I'm staying up till 11 o'clock
Yeah,
with
now
the
you got to
kid.
get with the sugar rush.
And so I go, all right, I have a plan. I'm going to bring a piece of chocolate because my mom has, Hershey Kisses and stuff. So I was like, I'm going to put this piece of chocolate in my pocket for the drive home. And if he starts falling asleep, I'll go, hey, buddy, you want a piece of chocolate? We're driving. I see the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
We got 20 minutes left in the ride.
Oh, wow.
All right. He made it.
stretch.
He made it 40. I was like, I'm trying to do this. Up, up, I'm opening the window. Anything. Eyes are closed.
Every parent out there is like, yep, we feel you.
Eyes are closing. They're shutting. They're getting heavy. I go, buddy, you want some chocolate? Eyes perked right up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Give me
no.
some chocolate.
It's been in your pocket for 40 minutes in the
This
car.
thing was just mush. It melted through the
course it did.
tinfoil wrapping
course
of
it
the
did.
Hershey.
Of course it did.
Now I'm explaining to my poor kid.
He's not going to eat that.
Sorry, do you want this? And he was like, no, Dad.
What human? Stop. Do you want this melted piece of chocolate that
That's
doesn't
so
resemble
mean.
chocolate?
You just bait
You've
and
already-
switched
yeah.
your son.
So
But
we had a
but he-
deal. I said, you stay awake the rest of this ride because it was just me and him. Mom wasn't in the car, so
Oh,
I can get away with something. I'm like, yo, you get home, cookie. Yeah, you get a cookie. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
I'm not even unpacking the car.
Right. We just walked
We are
straight in.
And he said, okay, Daddy. And he made it. Power to him.
Why can't the kid sleep? I don't get it. See,
Because
I'm
a
not
20-minute nap at 6 o'clock is disaster for like an 8 o'clock situation.
You know the whole term cat nap? Like
Yeah.
if you took a 15, well, you take like 6-hour naps, but like if
Correct.
I took a 15-minute nap, like I'm actually energized for the next 2 hours. Imagine that with a little child thing. That 15 minutes, that 20
Child
minutes,
thing.
that gives them like 4 hours of energy.
4 hours.
And you're just done.
It's an instant recharge.
And now he's
then
and
you're
now,
like negotiating with him at 9 o'clock at night.
yeah. And you don't want to do that. You know, the witching hour is the witching hour for a reason. It's not 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night.
It's
All
the
right, fair
four-
point.
It's the 4 to 6 window.
Yeah, exactly. It's horrible. All right. Kyle Schwarber on Sunday. Historic night. Historic afternoon. So Kyle Schwarber became, this from baseballreference.com, my favorite website of all time. He became just the 8th player in Major League Baseball history to have a game in which he hit 2 home runs, walked 3 times, and stole a base. Because if you remember, they just started walking him late in the game. That's the one that won extras. And they had the double steal where he stole third and Harper stole second. Here are the other players that have accomplished this feat. You had one in 2021 with Brandon Lau.
Okay.
2019 with David Wright. And I hate him. He's a good ball player.
Yeah.
How about Derek Lee did it in 2010? I love Derek Lee. Mark McGuire. Oh, no, sorry. That was 2002.
For Derek Lee.
Yeah. Mark McGuire in 1997. Dutch did it for the Phillies in 1993. Howard Johnson, of course, well-known name.
Love the hotels.
1987.
Who doesn't love Hojo?
And Lou Gehrig did it in 1927. So just 8 times somebody has hit 2 home runs in a game, walked at least 3 times, and stole a base. Derek Lee walked 4 times.
I think it's the
What was
stolen
the
base
score?
that's really going to set it apart,
right.
to be honest. Not just for Schwarber, but for a lot of those guys. Like you said, Mark McGuire, not necessarily known as base stealer either.
No.
But you have to get to that's a lot of at-bats.
Yeah, I mean, so 2 home runs, 3
5,
walks.
right?
That's 5 minimum. And did he?
He might have gotten a 6th time because that was another extra innings game. Was it extra innings?
It
Yeah,
was.
They're
It was
all
extra
extra innings,
innings,
right?
yeah.
Pinch ran Garrett Stubbs for him and got him thrown out at home
Oh, that's right.
that game. So
That's right, from third.
I think he would have been close to another at bat, but they ended it.
Okay. But yeah, I mean,
that's right.
Look, that's one of those stats where you're like, man, only baseball. would
I'm
have
surprised
something like
Barry's
this.
not on there.
Because he walked a lot. But
Yeah.
he probably didn't have a chance to hit 2 home runs.
Right. Like, yeah, so
Probably
many,
fair.
and you have
Especially
to-
towards the
you have
end.
to do so many things. Like, that's crazy. All right, what do we have on the Davis on the text line, Connor? Feel the Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington.
So we've been talking a lot of Phillies. We've also been talking about the NBA schedule release, and Larry in West Philly is hyped up. He says, now I'm truly hyped. Eagles versus Houston on Christmas Eve. Sixers and LeBron versus Luka and the Lakers. Who needs gifts for Christmas?
I don't. My gift would be let me watch.
Yes.
That would be my gift. But Santa's going to be coming to town again soon. Don't worry. Coop's been talking about his list since December 26th.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Very excited for Christmas in the Salciunas.
Just tell him he's on the naughty list for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I don't think he would handle
Slow
that.
him down.
Fran Curran checks in on the YouTube chat. It's 100 degrees outside. Where's a good place for me to keep this chocolate?
My pocket. Just to really give it a nice, cozy home. Also, you were driving a car, so your pocket is not like loosey-goosey.
No, and it's not air. It's not the air conditioner
Yeah,
is
of
not
course,
hitting
it's
the
not
pocket.
hitting the pocket.
Yeah, bad work by me. It
really is.
We got home though, and
That's all that
he
matters.
fell asleep at like 7:15,
And he slept
and I
good.
had a Saturday night, man. It was great. It was great. Until then he wakes up at like 11, and the whole sleep schedule's thrown off, and you just deal with it, Connor. You're your uncle now, so
That's
I'm
right.
not dealing with that.
Congratulations.
Thank you
might.
so much.
I saw the pics.
Will you
Beautiful.
ever babysit an overnight babysit? Do you think?
I do not think they'll ask me. Like, I swear to God, I don't think they'll ask me.
Wow, really?
My mom will get the call. Her parents will get the
If
call.
I ever did, like I've got 4 older siblings. I've got a ton of nieces and nephews that are well, 3 of them are in college now, for Pete's sake. I don't think I ever did an overnight when I was an auntie.
My sister and her husband did once. It's mainly like if we ever needed to, it'd be my parents. But my sister did one time.
She's
but
got
your
a sister.
But your sister had a husband
Yes.
during this, so I think that's it. Like when I was an auntie, when the babies were younger, I was just solo.
Solo.
They were not
So
gonna,
Connor?
was gonna come to my apartment.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm 20.
Hey, let
on
me
the
show
list.
you garage.
Yeah, here you go.
Come on, Luca.
We don't have a crib for you,
Where's
but I do
going?
have a
Drink.
really nice futon.
You like skee ball?
That's awesome.
So I think that's probably why.
All right, coming up next, we'll get back to all our topics today. We'll continue to check the Davis Honda text line, but also, we missed something this weekend.
Besides the Schwarber news?
Besides the Schwarber news. So when Lane Johnson announces that this is probably it, that took the reporting world by storm here in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Something snuck by. Sean Mannion was asked about something, and I'll be honest, I kind of wish we were done with it. I'll explain more coming up next, and you'll know what we're talking about in a few minutes here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A shorthanded win. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies hung on to beat the Cardinals 6-5 last night. It was a shorthanded night for the bullpen with Caleb Killian going on the injured list, 15-day IL with an oblique strain, and also a bunch of guys down from high usage. So Andrew Painter had to go deep in the game. He threw 5 no-hit innings. He allowed 2 hits and 2 earned in the 6th. But then things were turned over to Alan Ronhell, who allowed 3 runs in the 8th, made things real interesting until Jonathan Bolin closed the door in the 9th for his first career save. Bolin talked about the moment after.
I actually haven't had time to think about it, but family being here, it's very special. Family means the world to me, but personal accolades, that's cool. I mean, that's awesome. Let's see. I'll keep going and see where this thing goes.
Thank God he did close it down. Garrett Stubbs was going to be the one pitching the 10th, according to Don Mattingly. So they're very thin in the bullpen. The offense is getting better. Kyle Schwarber was on base 4 times. Edmundo Sosa had a 3 RBI night. Game 2 is at 7:45 this evening. Christopher Sanchez faces Andre Palante. The Eagles' first preseason game is this Saturday. Camp continues to ramp up. Vic Fangio meets with the media at 9:40 this morning. The full NBA schedule will be released Thursday afternoon, but we know some marquee games for the Sixers already. Opening night, October 20th. They're going to be facing the Knicks up in New York. 22nd, their home opener against the Cavs, and they'll play the Lakers on Christmas. This update is brought to you by Verizon Business. Verizon Business experts love small businesses, so they come directly to you on your schedule with real expertise tailored to your needs. Make an appointment with a Verizon Business expert. Go to Verizon.com/book today. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic.
Starting give you an early pick-me-up is Mornings with Andrew on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
It is 9 a.m. here on Mornings with Andrew. It's a Tuesday. By the way, Amy, I told Connor this morning, I have so much fun doing it. We're going to have Ask Me Amy thing on Tuesdays as well.
Yes.
So 9:47 today, Ask Me Amy thing. It's something that we do every Friday to close out the week. We are going to add to it on Tuesdays when Amy is in with us. So Ask Me Amy thing comes your way at 9:47.
That's good.
So start texting in your questions to the Davis on a text line, 610-632-0975. YouTube, hold off. Wait until we get there because I don't want to
They
lose
get lost
your stuff.
in the
So Connor can screenshot. I have to scroll back up. 9:47. And again, the non-sports ones are always the ones that are more entertaining. All right. So we'll get back to our topics, get back to the text line, we'll get to the phones, we'll get to the voice memos, 610-632-0975. But we missed something this weekend, and I see C Farmer 1 chime in on the YouTube chat. Ding, ding, ding. Long live the tush push.
Oh.
Sean Mannion is doing the right thing. Why would you get rid of it? It wasn't as successful last year because, and then it gets cut off. Oh, the offensive line was direct and beat up. All right, so I hear you.
The question was, why don't you use it, was answered in that sentence.
So I hear you. So this weekend, with all the Lane Johnson stuff going on, we missed this. And today I was just kind of scrolling through things. I go, whoa, I missed this part. Sean Mannion had a press conference this weekend, and he was asked if the tush push would still be a part of the Eagles offense. Take a listen.
It's going to be a part of what we do. It's been an extremely effective play here. We're going to lean into that. It's something that, this organization has executed at a high level. So along with many other elements to our offense, certainly, it's something that will be a part of it.
So let's talk about this. I'm not saying the play stinks. It's obviously very effective.
Very successful.
I do believe that the whole 1st and 9 thing sometimes hurts the Eagles because I think they're so passive that they're like, well, we only need 8 yards because then we'll get the first down on the tush push. And I think they're very careful.
But
yes.
You attribute that to the offensive coordinator, too.
I don't think they'll do that as much with Sean Mannion. Now, here's the reason why I wonder if it's actually smart to still have it. Goal line, sure. But like the 3rd and 1 on the 40-yard line, when I have a good feeling that Saquon Barkley could get that 1 yard, or the normal quarterback sneak could get that 1 yard. The problem with the tush push, even though there are no documented injuries, now that Jason Kelce is out of the league, now that Jason Kelce isn't pushing for the tush push to stay the same.
And he's talked about how it's a very tough play on his body. Like he's at the end of that pile. He is the one that has to do the pushing. He did stump for it, and he said, like, there's not been – because there was that whole worry, like, oh, it's more concussions or whatever else, and that there's been no, grounding to that. But it doesn't mean it doesn't have wear and tear on your body, maybe more so than other plays.
And then Cam Jurgens, after the Eagles won the Super Bowl, so this is – I don't know if the podcast was in February or March, but it was after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. The year was 2025. Cam Jurgens was on with Chris Long and
Bo
Allen. And Bo Allen asked him about the tush push. So they won the Super Bowl. All right, so everyone's happy. Everything's gravy. And he said, yeah, people call it the tush push. There's people that call it brotherly shove. We have a name for it that we don't say. I don't know why.
I feel like Barkley had that when he was on Fallon, maybe, right?
So did Hurts. They say there's a terminology that we don't want to tell you guys. Yeah. We know what you're doing when you line up, but okay. But Cam Jurgens said, but I have a name for it myself. It's called pain. And he talks about how at the bottom of the pile, it hurts.
Yeah.
What did Cam Jurgens deal with last year?
Bit of an injury.
Back.
Yeah, but where?
A bad back.
Bad back. The back, you remember you have to get really low man wins, so now everybody's piled up on top of that man's back, the starting center that you paid a lot of money, gave the contract extension to, and he's talking about how it hurts, and then he missed like a lot of the season last year, or was when he was playing, it wasn't himself. I'm fine with it still being in the playbook. It should be. It's effective. I don't think I need to see it on the 40-yard line.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. They have to be a little bit more judicious when they use it, knowing that the health of their offensive line is an absolute number one key to this offense working.
Yeah.
Not just to the success of your season, which obviously is related to it, but it starts with the offense working. And if you don't have an offensive line, then you don't have it. You're nowhere.
No, that's why they lost last year.
Your quarterback is under center now. Like, I think let's just think about where he is physically. Think about where he is on the line. He's not in the shotgun. He's not a couple of steps back. He's right under the center. That's a good portion of this. That's what makes this offense look differently. Saquon Barkley, prominently featured. Running backs, tight ends. It's a very multiple looks with motion and whatever else. The offensive line is key. And if you're taking a play too often that puts that kind of health in jeopardy, I feel like you're being pretty reckless if you have it just using it just too much.
I had a problem with it last year when they ran it 4 straight plays. Remember they did that against the Giants? As it was Giants, right?
Well, once they like something, they really do. Like,
Yeah, hitch routes.
Yeah, we love that A.J. Brown.
Wide receiver bubble screens. Yeah, they love it. They ran it 4 straight plays. And in this podcast that I went back and watched, Connor, you may have heard me listen to it. I went back and watched it this morning because I wanted to make sure. I didn't want to just throw stuff out there and see if it stuck. He straight up said it's even worse when we run it back-to-back plays.
Of course it is.
And, like, there was they ran it 4 straight times
that must have been
against the Giants last year. So I'm not saying it should be taken out of the playbook. I'd be okay if it was like I wouldn't like if they said, "Hey, we're done with the tush push." I was angry during the whole thing when they were making when Sean McDermott was like, "Yeah, it's bad for the league, but yeah, we'll run it."
I think that's where the disingenuousness of it's not a football play. It's enough for you to run it.
Yeah, you ran it second most times in the league.
So, but if it's the point where the player that you need to run it is saying, you know what? I don't like it as much because it hurts. It could hurt my back, which I just went to Columbia to get repaired.
Yes.
I would be like, you know what? We probably will
think twice.
Like
probably think twice about that one. Yeah, it shouldn't be taken out, but it should not be.
It shouldn't be relied
leaned
upon
on the way that they have.
Yeah,
been.
I think they do rely on it.
Connor, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I like having it as part of the offense because I still think it's going to be an effective play. Maybe even more so this year with the stuff that Sean Mannion's going to add that Kevin Patullo didn't have, right? But I think we need to draft the tush-push rules. So when is it acceptable? I think point-scoring situation, always acceptable. Like if you're on the goal line, you can always run it.
You got to get 6. Yes. Got to get 6 here.
Yeah, right. Every dad in the greater area.
Gotta get 6. Here. But yes, but like 3rd and 1 on the 44-yard line. No, you have way too much freaking talent on this team to have to do that play.
Situationally, if it's 3rd and 1, it's like we get this first down and it's ball game and we're running the clock out.
Yeah,
like
That's
you can do it
situationally. Yeah, no matter where you're on the field, if it's all right, we just need 1 first down, then they can clock everything. We're all good.
4th and 1, you're down a score. Yeah.
You need the ball back.
Right.
I got it.
So game winning, game extending, or point scoring are the 3 options.
It cannot be we have this whenever we want it.
Or if Frankie Louva was on the field.
Well, you just want to run it down his throat.
Yeah, until he jumps over the line and hits Jalen Hurts again.
You don't even have to run it.
Yeah, that's right, because
Just
you got
call
the
for
first
it.
down. All right, here's what we've been talking about this morning. Let's have the Davis Honda text line ready there, Connor. Will you allow the Phillies to stress you out? I can't help myself. I was watching last night's game stressed out the entire time. It's actually probably not good for my mental health to watch the Phillies right now, but I'm going to continue to watch them. A lot of people out there are probably saying, yeah, I don't feel great about this team anyway. They might miss the playoffs, so why am I stressed out about it? They might not make the playoffs. I'm not stressing over that. And then the Eagles urgency conversation, same church, different pew. Do you realize yet how this season could swing the future of the Eagles one way or another?
It's just a wild offseason coming up, which is crazy to think about. We're talking about 2027, which we even haven't had, 2026 yet. But you really do. That's what like the front office thinks about.
They have to.
That's how you get in a position of being so successful for as long as they have been at this point.
Yeah.
And that's how you get into a position of not being successful, aka the Dallas Cowboys.
The quiet offseason for the Eagles is they play really well, and your quiet offseason is Hurts getting his extension, Mitchell and DeJean get paid, you figure out what they're doing post Lane Johnson retirement.
Right.
That's quiet, and that's still a lot of moving
That's still
parts.
a lot of things to do.
If it doesn't go well this year, it's does Hurts get paid? You pay Mitchell and DeJean. How are you going to pay everybody else? Like, Lane Johnson's gone. Right. Oh, no. We weren't good with him. What do we do with the right tackle? It's going to be really interesting. So what do we have on the Davis Honda text line where you can feel the Davis difference in Burlington?
All right, you tell me if these Phillies texts are from texters who are stressed out with the team.
Okay.
Oh, it's a fun game.
K. Long has already ruined Luis Arise. Luis is a single slapper. How many times has he flown out? Long has already embedded the launch angle in his head.
You guys are hilarious. Kevin Long did nothing to Luis Arise.
I'd be surprised if he's even had more than like a, hey, what's up type of vibe.
Like,
Do you think he's like going to Luis Ariz and be like, hey, let me like work on your swing?
No.
It's a 3-time batting champ. If anything, Luis Ariz is like, hey, Kevin.
I miss John Kincaid. I do not miss the Kevin Long conversations because it's Kevin Long.
It's like a conspiracy theory.
It's so funny to me. Like Kevin Long,
very
I
powerful.
will say it again, could get fired today, and I would have the same reaction if they gave him a 10-year contract extension. You mean to tell me that these guys that have worked their butts off their entire careers come to Philadelphia? Luis Ariz, 3-time batting champion, could be a 4-time batting champion in the National League, comes to the Phillies and goes, oh, Mr. Long,
yeah, whatever you say. Sir.
What should I do?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
If anything, Kevin Long just watches him during BP and just goes, huh,
nice swing, man.
Good job.
Guy's pretty good.
And moves on. The power that people have given Kevin Long is wild to me. Now, it's not to say that he doesn't have some effect on some of the players when they were coming up.
Sure.
And there was some coaching.
Yeah.
But to say like that Kevin Long's been playing for Trey Turner's struggles, for Bryce Harper's struggles at different times, Kyle Schwarber's struggles, and then now Luis Ariz.
He got blamed for Bryson Stott not developing into the batting champion, but he's not getting credit for Bryson Stott being one of
Now
the hottest hitters in baseball.
No.
Stop. Like, I'm sorry. Stop with the Kevin Long crap because I don't care about his existence as the hitting coach of the Phillies. It doesn't do anything. He probably has a game plan for the guys. He probably does some video analysis with the guys, but these are professional hitters that are the best in the world. He is not walking up to the batter's box with them and saying, yeah, Alec, swing at that first pitch after they walked 3 straight batters.
Yeah, and the one thing you can look at least with Ariz, and I know people are like, oh, he's popping out or whatever, because, in the 5 games he's played, he's still working the at-bat. That's something that was the big knock against Kevin Long. He doesn't teach these guys how to work an at-bat. So then how is he? He's affected Luis Ariz, so he still does work an at-bat, but somehow he flies out.
But he's flying out now.
Yeah, so it's very nitpicky, where like Kevin's just dipping his toes in here and there.
It's unbelievable.
God
I
bless.
get so because look, I get it. We're angry.
Yeah, because you want people to hit.
And there's you're looking for somebody to blame. I understand it. It's just use logic for 5 minutes. Like Kevin Long did not change Luis Ariz's approach at the plate. Yeah, what else we got?
So now not only is that texter stressed out, everyone here is stressed out because of that text. You also brought up earlier that you can just as easily see this team miss the playoffs as win the World Series.
Yeah, it might be a stretch, but go on.
This texter says, I could see Connor being called up to pitch the 8th inning before I could see this Phillies team win the World Series.
Look, here is the reason why. Here's the reason why I said it. The Phillies are living and dying by this rotation and by this bullpen. They have 3 great starting pitchers and an incredible top-of-the-league closer. And that could be enough to win games in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It may also not be enough to make the playoffs because you have 2 other guys that need to start games, and you have like 4 other guys you need to turn to in the bullpen that aren't Johan Duran. So that's what I'm getting at.
It's like such a double-edged sword because if you get there, you're like, all right, well, then they could actually do something a little bit because you have enough. But it's the struggle to get there right now.
Yeah. Look, this might be an unpopular opinion. I would rather face the Dodgers in the wild card round than any other round. You have to win 2 games.
I agree with that.
I don't.
You have to win 2 games. You can't lose 2 games.
I feel like the Dodgers are just like waiting in the wings.
Right,
to,
but as it stands right now, that's the playoff matchup because the Brewers and the Braves are the top 2 seeds.
Well,
so as it stands right now, this isn't the I want the Dodgers. Bring me the Dodgers. It's if I were to play the Dodgers in a best of 3, best of 5, or best of 7, the way this Phillies team is built,
best
of 3 is
a
their
better option.
best chance of winning because of the 3 pitchers that will be going in those games. Maybe the 2 pitchers going in those games. What if I told you right now, Connor, the Phillies played in the wild card round and Christopher Sanchez and Zach Wheeler won them the first 2 games? Would you be surprised by that?
No, I would not.
Now, when I say the Dodgers, we panic because it's the Dodgers.
Be a little bit more surprised.
Rightfully so. But what if they won 2-1 both those ball games? I wouldn't like that.
That would fit.
I wouldn't be shocked. And so now you
they
knock out
2 runs.
Now you knock
1-0.
Now you knock out the Dodgers, And now the field's open. Like I would welcome the Dodgers wild card round before any other round.
Yeah, because it's a short round and you can get through two pitchers.
It's crazy.
Even if you had to go a third.
You have Jesus Luzardo, who's pitched well against them. What else you got on the text line?
All right. Well, if the Phillies aren't stressing you out enough, Mike from Turnersville is stressed out with the Eagles.
Okay.
He says, I expect a lot of Eagles changes as I don't see this year as promising. Very concerned with a lot of changes on offense. Older O-line being asked to change how they block. Key players injured, missing valuable practice time. I see them anywhere from an 8-9 team to an 11-6 team, but I have them going 9-8, and that won't be good enough to make the playoffs. New head coach and new quarterback will then happen.
The bottom would have to fall out for them to finish below 500. But let me say this, because I don't want people thinking that he's crazy for texting that. I will say what I've said a couple of times. The Eagles' defense is the reason why they finished above 500 last year. The Eagles' offense sucked.
Especially at the end.
They were really bad. The Eagles' offense was putrid. It's why I don't understand the Jalen Hurts conversation sometimes, like the way people go like almost over the top to defend the guy. Like the Eagles' offense sucked last year. Yep. And 2 years ago, the passing offense wasn't good. What if the Eagles' offense sucks again this year? We can talk about why. We could say it was the offensive line. Maybe Sean Mannion wasn't a good offensive coordinator. Maybe the offense didn't suit Jalen Hurts. Maybe he's better at other things. There could be more reasons than just the quarterback. But what if the Eagles' offense isn't good again this year?
Yeah.
Then
it's real.
Here we are again. So I don't think they're going 8-9.
No.
But I said when we did our W's and L's, 12-5, but I could see 11-6 more likely than 13-4. It's very possible. It's a tough schedule.
I don't 9-8.
Happy Tuesday, guys.
This is fun. I enjoy this. Really lifting people's spirits today.
Well, I mean, the Phillies are at fault. It's not my fault.
Hey, they won last night. That was a huge win. Big Bad John.
Hell yeah,
First
man.
career save. His family was out for it.
Big John.
Bad John.
And Derek Hill the night before. I mean, all the guys that you expected to be the
totally.
Schwarber's hot again. We may never lose again.
I will say though, at this point, I kind of do expect it from Derek Hill. That's kind of his vibe. It's like you might not hear from me for like a week. When I get that chance, I'm going to come through.
Well, that's Edmundo Sosa anytime he gets a start.
Right.
And Mundo's like, I'm playing today. All right, 3 RBI.
I got you.
See you guys next week.
See you next week.
Unbelievable.
He is batting 210 this year.
Yeah, no, I know. Because
tries.
he had to start playing a lot of games, and he gets exposed because that's what happens with
there's a reason he's
players.
not an everyday player.
Yeah. I mean, look at his numbers in St. Louis. He was an everyday player there, and his numbers sucked. Let's go to Davey in Ben Salem. Davey, what's up, man? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Connor. Good morning, Amy. It's always great to have you in the studio,
man. Good morning.
man.
Thank you.
Always love listening to you.
Thanks, Dave.
So, yeah, you guys have had a great show today. First and foremost, let's congratulate Andrew and Johnny Marks on the new show starting next Monday.
Thanks,
Looking
Davey.
forward to hearing it, man. And I'm glad Connor's staying with the station. He's got to keep an eye on Ray and Sean there. So that's
damn right you do, Connor.
I'm also happy to be employed.
I'm glad that you still have a job as well.
Thanks, Davey.
Without a doubt. So you guys have been doing this poll about, Phillies fans stressing out. Andrew, I started working there in 2022.
Yep.
And, since I became a part of the Phillies organization, I love it. It's been the greatest experience I've ever had in my life the last 5 years. I stress out more now than I did when I was just a fan looking from the outside in.
Yeah, I mean, you're there every day, and you're seeing it every day, and you're hearing that Garrett Stubbs would have been the pitcher in the bottom of the 10th inning last night because you know that the bullpen's taxed. Of course it's stressful.
That was very stressful.
When you live it,
that definitely would have scared me, man. And it's just like I understand Mattingly doesn't have much to work with, but I just don't. I know the bullpen is so deleted right now, but I don't know if he knows how to manage the bullpen, what he has right now. Look what happened this last weekend, Andrew, with Alvarado. Left Alvarado in there too long on that game on Saturday. Left Kirkering in there too long on Sunday. I know he didn't have much to go with. It's been the bats in the playoffs in 24-25 that cost them. But this could be the thing that cost them getting in the playoffs.
Davey, let me remind you, and thanks for the call, brother. Don't forget that the bullpen imploded in those years as well. 23, 24, 25.
Imploded.
So that also was an issue. And I'm just going to remind you guys that A lot of you out there didn't want to hear it when I was trying to tell you guys that firing Rob Thompson was the message and it wasn't the new manager. I will remind you, as Dave from Ben Salem talks about Mattingly struggling with the usage of the bullpen, I tried to tell you that he wasn't a good manager with the Dodgers. I tried to tell you that when he was with the Marlins and they actually still had Major League Baseball players, he wasn't good there either. People sometimes ignore that because Donnie Baseball should be in the Hall of Fame, and I have a signed poster of him. You know, there were people that ignored that when I said, yeah, they're winning because they sent the message by firing Rob Thompson. Oh, well, Don does things differently.
The players said it was a message. That's my favorite part. You said it, and people are like, no, it's all about Donnie Baseball and his baseball card, and he should be in the Hall of Fame, blah, blah, blah. He's a great player.
Yes. They do infield drills now.
But Mattingly came on and said, I'm going to do the exact same thing. The players said, it's really the same thing, and we're really bummed that it took a wake-up call like firing a guy like Rob Thompson, who we all respect. So that you've got like multiple players saying that. You've got Don Mattingly saying, I'm doing the same thing, but people are still like, well,
but it's Don.
So different. He's so different from Rob Thompson.
I need the Rob Thompson, Garrett Stubbs is going to pitch the 10th, quote, reaction from this city. In an alternate universe, that's one that I want to see.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
There would have been pitchforks and torches.
Sleepy Rob, you know.
Maybe it's Sleepy Phillies. We ever thought of that?
Maybe it's Sleepy Dombrowski, which is what I have been telling you. All right, coming up next. Connor sent me a topic that I'm already annoyed with, Amy.
Oh, no.
Because there will be definitely somebody that will say something about this topic. And it's one of these let's nip it in the bud kind of things.
Or at least try to.
Or try to, but you know it's going to happen. It's just something that we need to deal with when it comes to the Sixers. We'll talk about it next year on The Fanatic.
Baseball season is in full swing. There's no better place to be than Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform. The Fightins have won 2 straight. They got a chance to go for 3 tonight. And Philadelphia is trading at a 60% chance to beat St. Louis. Salciunas on the mound. Been really good lately, one of the best pitchers in baseball. And a $100 trade is going to pay out $157 if Philadelphia wins. A great opportunity for you to add a little extra to the game tonight. And the best part is, on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. So maybe you want to trade out as soon as the Phillies go to the bullpen. That might make sense. Whatever you want to do, you can do it on Kalshi. Download the Kalshi app and use code Fanatic to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi. Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Phils hang on in St. Louis. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies hung on to beat the Cardinals 6-5 last night. It was another shaky performance by the bullpen. They were also very thin in the game. A few guys available, but Andrew Panter helped them out a lot. 5 no-hit innings. He ended up going 5 1/3 total. He did allow 2 hits and 2 earned in the 6th inning, and Alan Rangel allowed 3 in the 8th to make things really interesting. But Jonathan Bolin closed the door in the 9th for his first career save. Don Mattingly talked about the pitchers that stepped up.
It was one of the easiest games I've ever managed, actually, because you know you're not doing anything. But knowing where we were at with the pen and all the guys out there, to get that from Paint and Allen, huge stunt.
Kyle Schwarber was on base 4 times to help set up the offense. And Mundo Sosa, 3 RBI night. Game 2 against the Cards is at 7:45 tonight. Christopher Sanchez faces Andre Palante. The Eagles' first preseason game is this Saturday as camp continues to ramp up. Vic Fangio will meet with the media at 9:40 this morning. And we got some NBA schedule news. Full schedule coming out on Thursday, but we know a couple of the Sixers' big games. Opening night of the NBA season, October 20th. They'll be in New York playing the Knicks. October 22nd, the home opener for the Sixers against the Cavs. And Christmas Day, they're going to be facing the Lakers. This update is brought to you by Verizon Business. Verizon Business experts love small businesses, so they come directly to you on your schedule with real expertise tailored to your needs. Make an appointment with a Verizon Business expert. Go to Verizon.com/book today. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Art Foundation. You've heard of D-Generation X. You've heard of the Road Warriors, but have you heard of the Seamheads? Andrew Salciunas, a.k.a. the host, and Connor Thomas, a.k.a. producer, are back to bring you more hard-hitting Philly sports talk on Mornings with Andrew, right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
This hour is brought to you by The Bagster, dumpster in a bag. Get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. For details, go to Baxter.com.
Hard-hitting sports talk.
Seamheads.
That's what we are. Two sports heads.
It's growing on me.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm
You
glad
know how
that
we
it's...
know sports?
Good thing it's over
like
in 3 days.
I'm glad you asked for it,
They
Andrew,
don't
because it's growing
stop.
on me.
He did. He really stumped for that one. My favorite thing is like, we know that you know sports because you've been talking about it for a decade at this point. I don't need a voice telling me that you know sports.
Yeah.
It's like when people take the picture, like if you look at it on like a Twitter or Instagram, whatever, and their profile picture is them holding whatever sport that they cover. I'm like, you don't need to hold a football for me to believe if you know football.
Oh, Jason Stark, he held a baseball in this picture. Jason Stark knows
he
baseball?
must know, but Jason Stark would never.
Yeah, no, he would not. I have a quick question before we get to Connor's topic. Sorry if this is uncomfortable for everybody.
Oh, goodness. That's a good way to start.
So
sorry if you're not going to like this.
I know that people online have interests. I know that. And last week we got in a conversation about people that just feel very comfortable saying things online, like
yes,
like my man Jim the Butcher.
Yeah, my bestie.
That's right.
Yeah. So on Sunday, I went to the Phillies game with my wife and posted a photo of the two of us.
Oh.
Why are there 7 bookmarks on the picture?
People can come back to it.
Trying to figure out your seating to maybe like sit next to you to talk sports.
I posted it well after the game ended.
Yeah, but like future reference, that's probably
Yeah.
where Andrew Salciunas sits.
Yeah. I find that weird. Why are you bookmarking?
I didn't even know you could. How do you look that up?
Oh, it shows how many people have bookmarked, but it doesn't tell you who. I just want to know, like, why? Because
Oh, I see that now.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever looked down there.
7 bookmarks is alarming. There was a photo last year that my wife and I posted from a wedding. And, Amy, like, wedding dresses, like, sometimes you're showing a little bit more, right? Like, and Christy was showing a little bit more in said picture.
She was just fancy.
And on Instagram, you can see how many times somebody forwarded your picture.
Oh.
And the number was way too high for her liking that she asked me to please delete it because she was like, that's weird.
Too complimentary.
Because I'm thinking, like, who is sending this and to where? To where are you sending it? But bookmarks is even weirder.
You
Because
saved it. They want to go back to it.
you're not sending it to somebody. You are saving it for your own personal interests. Why?
Some people are weird online.
My wife is beautiful. I get the jokes every time I post a photo. "Oh, I outkicked his coverage." Yes, I did. She's a gorgeous woman. I find it weird that people are bookmarking the picture.
Yeah.
Very strange. All right, what do you got, Connor? What's the Sixers topic that you threw my way?
Hell of a lead-in.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. So I had this thought yesterday because I saw some Instagram posts that I did not bookmark.
Yeah, sure.
The Sixers.
No, but you're one of the 7 on my Twitter account, probably.
I'm not. I'll forget about stuff in like 2 seconds, so it's not even worth it to bookmark stuff. Anyway, I saw the Sixers, some guys working out of the facility.
Yes.
Had the practice jerseys on or the Sixers gear and stuff like that.
And this was not the AI LeBron video we saw earlier today.
No, it was not. This was real, as far as I know.
The number of people that are going to fall.
Oh, it looked real. I knew that it wasn't real.
Right, because
we know that he's not here.
Exactly. You know where he is. He's in L.A.
And the flight of the ball didn't make sense, but there are definitely people that are going to be like, oh, my God, LeBron's first practice. But anyways, go on.
My thought was, though, LeBron-centric. It's like, wow, we haven't really seen him in the facility. We haven't seen him wearing Sixers gear besides, like, the AI-generated photos. And I wonder when he's going to show up and start practicing with the team. Now, it's LeBron. I don't really care when he does, right? I don't. But then I start thinking about the potential living in New York, flying by helicopter. And there's a realization I think every Sixers fan is going to come to, if you haven't come to yet, that he is going to do whatever he wants. And that's just the LeBron James experience. He's earned that right, but he is this larger-than-life figure that we're not used to.
I think when you say whatever he wants makes it seem like a negative. I don't think he's going to do something that's detrimental to the team.
He's not James Harden going to Vegas literally during a playoff series to go to a club.
Right, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's going to handle his business the way he wants to, and it won't necessarily be team-centric, and it won't be detrimental to the team. But I know how we are in Philadelphia.
Some will say that it is.
Optics matter a lot
one person in the city said this day they signed LeBron James was the worst day of his life. There are people that already think he's going to play GM and trade VJ Edgecombe and all this kind of stuff. And so people already worry about that because they worry about LeBron James instead of just enjoying the fact that LeBron James is playing for the Sixers. But to your point, there will be somebody at some point, like probably 4 games into the season, if they start 2-2, it'll be, well, it's because LeBron doesn't live near here. And it's, Bomani Jones tried doing that. Philadelphia's going to hate this. First, that's not true. Everybody is very happy that LeBron James is a Sixer. Like, nobody is complaining that he doesn't live here.
Where he lives.
But it might happen.
Do you care that when some guys live in New Jersey and some guys live in Philadelphia?
Nope.
Is that, like, problematic for some people?
Oh, I've been called not a real Philadelphian because I live in Salciunas.
But like Joel Embiid lives on the
claim to be
Pennsylvania side, but Tyrese Maxey lives on the New Jersey side. Well, there's obviously factions right there. They've already fractured. Stop it. Stop making things that are a big deal that are not a big deal. It's not a big deal where he lives. He can live in Doylestown if he wants. He can live in New Hope. He can live in Lambertville.
Yeah.
He can live in Hoboken.
He could live on the moon.
And commute from Artemis. That's what I said.
I heard you say that. Yes, I saw that clip.
Yes. I don't
Did you
care.
actually say live
I
on
did.
the moon?
Live on the moon.
no
He could
way.
commute from the moon and take Artemis. I don't know what number we would be up to. 7. I don't know what number we're at right now. 3, 4, whatever it is. Give him his own ship. He can come in from the moon, and it'll be great, and it'll be awesome.
Yeah, I'll have no problem with it. You will have no problem with it. Connor will have no problem with
We'll
it.
find someone.
Somebody will have a problem with
But it's interesting. You mentioned the starting 2-2. When he joined the Heat, they started 9-8, and there was definitely some concerns over there. Like,
and people celebrated it,
They
too.
ended up winning 58 games that year.
Yeah. And went to the NBA Finals.
And then the
Lost
other-
the Finals to the Mavericks, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, it's just there's going to be a little bit of bumpy road. The only other thing that I can think of that it could go really, really right is when Rondo was already up at the Boston Celtics, and they had the big 3. So they really had the big 3 and then an ultimate point guard because all he did was pass.
Yes.
And was very good at it. They started like 29 or 23-9. They started something ridiculous. They won like an exorbitant amount of games from the jump. That I think is the outlier. I think 9-8 is a little bit more realistic. But if there's any qualms about the way this is going to work before it happens, is a strange way to be.
Yeah, but I think part of that's inherent to the city, and some of that probably comes from learned experience.
Well, yeah, a
let's
little PTSD.
Yeah, let's look at the Sixers. Young Joe and Ben being able to do whatever because of the organization.
How about Ben Simmons working out with the Australian national team?
How about Ben staying in Miami to hang out with his girlfriend at the time and not taking the team flight?
Right now he's working out with
Oh, is he right now?
Yes.
That was something.
Posted a picture.
That was the Ben Simmons thing I was going to bring up.
Oh, my God, I'm so sorry.
No, I was going to do it 2 hours ago, and we ran out of time.
Oh, apologies.
No, you're fine. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, Ben Simmons is...
Yeah, trying for a comeback.
Him and Matisse, baby.
It's the latest...
Dream team.
It's the latest Ben Simmons is in the lab.
Stop it.
Bleacher Report yesterday
He wants to come
posted
back.
the tweet from each year.
It's
and
my favorite thing.
Very similar. It's always he's flexing with his shirt off. Because would I like
He's
to
a
have the
fit
body
fella.
of Ben Simmons? Yes. Would I like to have abs? Absolutely. I like my beard too much. I would love to look like Ben Simmons. So he does that. Look at me. I'm ripped. I'm ready
strong.
to go. And then you give him a basketball, and he goes, what do I do with this?
I pass it.
Yeah, it's experiences with guys like that, though. So here's what I need Sixers fans to be comfortable with. Take your basketball life and hand it to LeBron James and trust that he's not going to do you
I think
wrong.
most people are. It's you're gonna get annoyed by the vocal very minority.
I won't get annoyed. I'm trying to bring you to a point where you accept that so that you enjoy LeBron rather than arguing about it.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
There's still going to be arguments because you're still going to feel pretty inherently like this. You're in the right for certain aspects of. of
Look, if they
whatever
win
it
the
is.
championship, people are going to still complain. There's going to be LeBron people that complain or
Yeah.
anti-LeBron people that complain. Just crazy.
Did they complain when Moses came here?
Probably.
No, they love Moses is so great. I love Moses.
Yeah, but you probably get
It's the same thing.
I mean, we had the guy ask the question the other day. Would you rather win built?
Oh, that's right, homegrown or whatever.
I'm like, nah,
I
man.
want a parade.
I'll be at the parade regardless of how
Want a
it's
parade.
done.
1983,
Yeah.
2001. These are milestones, and none of them are within the last 25
Yeah.
years.
Just give me the championship, please. All right. Coming up next, a couple of updates from Eagles camp before we do Ask Me Anything. So we already asked you to do it. Send in your Ask Me Anything questions to the Davis on a text line, 610-632-0975. YouTube, start sending yours in now. I'll be able to check the YouTube chat. But there are also a couple of updates from Eagles training camp, some good, some not so good, that we'll tell you about next year on The Fanatic.
Unfiltered with Sixers basketball. You're waking up with Mornings with Andrew on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, it's 9:47 here on Mornings with Andrew. Mornings Marks and Salciunas starts August 17th. Amy Fadul in studio with us. We're about to do Ask Me Anything on a Tuesday. I figured, you know what, why not? Let's do it on Tuesdays, too. But before we do that, some updates for you from training camp. Mekhi Lemon is back on the practice field with a helmet on. He's not wearing, like, the pads and the jersey like everyone else is, but he's starting to head toward that right direction. he's been dealing with the hamstring. He dealt with one during OTAs. He's been dealing with one a lot throughout camp right now, which is concerning, especially when he's a shifty small receiver like that. He needs the hammies. So he is back kind of at practice today, limited. So is Devontae Smith. He also has been dealing with a hamstring injury. But the not-so-great update, Vic Fangio, speaking to the media this morning, was asked about Jonathan Grenard, and he says he doesn't expect him to return to the field for another couple of weeks.
It was funny when when that first happened, it was like, oh, no, kind of
it's not serious. Yeah.
And then I think it was the next day, Fangio was asked about it. He goes, oh, no, he's going to miss significant time.
Yeah.
And we're all like, but we thought there was okay.
Now, the good thing is he's a pure pass rusher, right? And he's a very good one. And so can he just step right on the fields with like 2 weeks of camp before the start of the regular season? Sure. But what is weeks? Weeks is plural. Weeks could mean 2. Weeks could mean 6. The season starts in a month. And your best pass rusher has not practiced yet because he got hurt the day before camp started lifting. So the not-so-good update there is on Jonathan Grenard. All right, you can continue to send in your questions for Ask Me Anything to 610-632-0975, and Connor will be the one monitoring that. I got YouTube. Hit it, Connor.
Now, it's time for
What else you need to know?
Ask Me Anything.
Would you like to know more?
No, ask me anything.
All right, Connor, why don't you start with what we have on the text line, and then we'll pivot on over to our YouTube chat. What do we got?
John in Tennessee checks in. Says, I put $20 on Eli Stowers to be the Rookie of the Year. $1,000 payout. Good luck with that, John. Who do you think may be the breakout player on this Eagles roster?
Oh, breakout player on this Eagles roster. Stowers is a good choice for that because of the way that the tight ends are being going to be utilized supposedly in this offense from what we've seen in the past. But I'm going to go with, you know what? I thought he took a leap last year. I think he's going to be bigger this year. I'm going to go Jahad Campbell.
All right. I like that answer.
Ooh, nice.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer.
Show me Jahad Campbell.
Answer. All right. Dawood on our YouTube chat. Ask Me Anything. Which pisses you off more, Amy? Someone going slow in the fast lane or someone going slow in the on-ramp while you're merging onto the highway?
That one. The on-ramp. You're getting ready to merge into a place where the minimum speed is probably 55 miles an hour.
Got it.
And you're going 20. Sir, move it along.
Yeah.
You got to get up to the flow of the traffic. That one drives me insane.
All right.
That's a good one.
Let me add another one to it. The person that does not move over for you as you're entering the highway.
Right. You're coming up. You're in that lane.
They all see you.
And he sees me. And I always look, if he's not letting me over, is there a car blocking him?
Right.
If there isn't, the ire's coming.
Yeah, because I see it a lot. I mean, I get on the highway every day.
Yep.
Like, it's just the person that doesn't let you on.
And sometimes you look and you're just like, all right, I get it. There's like a truck there and you can't get over. But when it's clearly open, the second or the middle and the far left lane are open, I'm like, dude,
move
just
over.
get over.
Yeah.
Have some consideration.
Aren't you technically supposed to?
Yes.
Yes.
Like, I'm pretty sure that's a rule.
Also, I don't like my car as much as you like your car.
Correct.
You better get out of my way.
That's a good point, Connor. All right. If Bayless, who always loves his top fives. This is a great one.
He does.
What are the lies we tell ourselves daily? My God, that's deep.
The lie you tell yourself daily. Some of the lies is that I'll do it in the morning. Whatever task it is, that's not happening.
That's a great answer.
Dishwasher, laundry, email, calls, whatever it is, it's not happening.
Yeah.
If you didn't do it when you thought of it, that's never going to happen. And that there's a lot of lies you tell yourself. That's number one for me.
I'll give one because I feel like I do this every other weekend. I'm not going to drink for a few days.
Why are you looking, man?
And no, I mean it's myself.
Keep those eyes to yourself.
Like I didn't have a drink yesterday, but remember what I told you yesterday? I thought Christy and Cooper were going out for the afternoon, and I was like, oh my God, I wasn't going to drink today. But if they're gone, they stayed home, but they're going out today.
There you go.
And so I was going to wait till Friday, but I don't know.
Another lie you tell yourself is, I'll just sleep for a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah.
No, you won't. You either are up now or you're not waking up for a while.
exactly. It's a double-sided lie
I
there.
feel seen. That's a 3-hour, 4-hour
that
nap
is
day for
like,
sure.
I'll just lay here for a little bit. No, you won't.
All right, Stephen Butler wants to know, do you use your turn signal when in a turn-only lane?
Oh, so I had this conversation recently. That's wild. So like say you put the turn on and you're already in it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Mostly because I get yelled at. Like people are like in the back of my car, like, "Why aren't your turn signal on?" Because I'm in the turning lane. You know what I'm doing.
I'm going left.
Like I've already exited, right? Or say you're on the highway and you put your turn signal on to exit. Is it still on when I'm in the exit lane? No, because I've already made the turn.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the same. But
How about when like a new lane expands to the right? Like it's a 3-lane road and a
I'll
right
put it over
lane.
to get there.
What'd you say?
I'll put it over to get there.
Yeah, but there's no other cars that are in that because the
'Cause you're
lane
the
just
first?
started. Yeah, you're the first. I got in a huge fight with my high school girlfriend over that.
Still might. Well, that says a lot about maybe where that status of the relationship was. If that's a huge fight.
Notice he said just high school girlfriend.
Yeah.
They are not still together.
There are other issues.
All right, what else we got?
All right, we also have a check-in on the Eagles' offensive line. This texter wants to know about the depth. Colby in Central PA says, I'd hate to see us scrambling for bodies. Amy, what do you think about the depth there?
The offensive line?
Yes, ma'am.
Ugh. It's we talked about this yesterday on Bert's Huddle. It's very thin. I know that they're putting a lot of stock in some of these guys really coming along. Lane Johnson had high praise about Markel Bell, but it's that's a big question mark. Given the fact that your O-line had a lot of injuries last year, I feel like they didn't answer that to the degree. You're really banking on those 5 going.
Yeah, you're really hoping Markel Bell's like ready to play right away and that Fred Johnson just continues to get better. All right, one more. Jay King, as we're nearing the end of the summer, wants to know your top 5 shore towns. If you can't think of 5, give us as many as you can. He does say including Delaware, and I know you are a Delaware person.
I do enjoy. We're getting ready to go to Lewis. That's next week. Love Lewis, Delaware. It's not my number 1, but I love Lewis. I think it's a super cute town, a shore town. Stone Harbor's number 1. I'll put Lewis in there second because I do love Lewis. Then give me Sea Isle, Avalon, Wildwood.
Now, I'm glad that this question came up.
Actually, Wildwood over Avalon. There's more to do.
Oh, yeah, I hear you. I'm glad this question came up. Thank you, Jay King. And I'm glad that I know that you were going to say Lewis, Delaware, because you and I have talked about in the past. So the other day at the Phillies game, Sunday, I see this guy. We were Hall of Fame Club third base side. So I'm looking down, and I see a guy. Oh, yeah, I bragged about it. I saw a guy wearing a Fluharty jersey. Fluharty, not sure. He's a left-handed reliever for the Blue Jays. And I'm like, all right, let me look this guy up. Guy's got an ERA over 4, so it's not like...
Is that his family member?
First thing I thought, all right, that's got to be a relative. There's no way that jersey... By the way, he's been with the Blue Jays for like 5 seconds. Like, it's not like he's been there for 10 years. Last season was his first year. He pitched in 55 games. He's been in 62 games this year. He's from Lewis, Delaware.
Oh, that's obviously like some kind of person that knows that.
Had to have been.
That's great.
So when I saw the jersey, I was like, all right, that's got it.
That's
Like,
awesome.
there's
I
no
love
way. And I didn't know he was a local guy. So
that's good times.
Congratulations to the Hardy family. All right, Amy, you're the best. Thank you as
guys.
always. We'll see you on Friday.
See you
Middays
Friday.
with Marks is coming your way next. I hope the temperature in the studio is appropriate. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow here in the Fanatic.